Yeah. There we, oh wait, my camera, well, okay, whatever. I guess we're live. And of course, Spotify decided to go live with like the most like oriental sounding music on my normal playlist. Hi, I'm back. I am so asleep right now. Yeah, my internal clock is 2 a.m. still. I'm trying. By the way, this is actually my normal playlist. Like, for those that don't know, this is my lo-fi stream beats. It's just the music is Ghost in the Daylight. It's part of my normal lo-fi mix. It just happened to be extremely oriental sounding. And I'm for coming back from China. Hi. I'm also, this broke. This is my main light. This is why my color's off. The only other light bulb I have was the light that, like, because I turned it on just before going live and it went pop. So I just grabbed a light that I had in my garage, which are the lights that I use outside. So my color is off. I don't look as pale as I normally do. What temperature was this one? Oh, this is 5500K. No wonder why. 5500K light. No wonder why. I got like the yellow, like we use the Edison bulbs outside of our house, so I had an extra one of those. Sounds sleepy. Do I have an HD2? Do I have an HD2? Do I have an HD2? I will actually be extremely honest. No joke. I came back from the trip and my wife was like, hey, hun, I found this out like yesterday because I didn't come out here at all. I got home and we'll talk about it. But she's like, hey, there's a package in the garage for you. There was a package in the garage for me that arrived while I was gone and I didn't know it was coming. So, without further ado, I have a surprise for you. Let me get the right camera. There we go. Got the mobile camera. For whatever reason, I don't know how this happened. Creality sent over another Creality Falcon 2 Pro laser. We unboxed one of those last year. For some reason, they sent over another one. Now I have two of them. They didn't send me any information. It just showed up, I guess, while I was on vacation. So we already unboxed one. It's over there. We already unboxed one. But I have another one in the box. It's the exact same one. It's a Creality 2 Falcon Pro, 22 watt. I already have one. I don't know why they sent another. We'll figure out something to do with it. But yeah, that was in the garage when I got home. Yeah. Okay. I'm back. Back again. I am back. What's it? Oh yeah, that's a part of that. In case you couldn't tell, I'm back. My sleep schedule is all effed. I guess we'll get right into it. I did a poll giveaway. Yeah, we'll figure something out. The problem is I can't ship stuff unless you want to pay shipping, because shipping from Canada to other places sucks, especially with like stuff like this. So anyways, I'm back. I know it's been a whole week. Did you miss me? I missed you. I'll be honest, this was the longest I've gone without like streaming in a long time. And it feels weird. I had to come out here, turn the computer on. My kit light blew up. I had to find my mic. I still have everything set up from the last video, in case you haven't noticed. Like, if you watched the video where I unboxed this, literally after the stream on Friday, like last Friday, the last stream I did before traveling, I turned the camera off for the stream. And then I immediately unboxed this printer, recorded the review. Not even a review, it was an unboxing video. I printed one thing. I unboxed it. I went print. I went out with the family for dinner. I came home, I recorded the second part of the video where I like looked at the print, and then I ran into my computer room, I edited it quickly, I uploaded all the videos, and then I finished packing, went to bed, and woke up and went to China. So like everything, if you go watch the video, everything is exactly where I left it, because this is the first time I'm out here since that. What did I eat? Food. 50 months. Holy shit. Oh, Steve's here. Hi, Steve. Before we get into this, is there anything that I may have taken a photo of that you don't want me to talk about? If so, DM me, because we're gonna go through all the stuff. Did I bring any souvenirs from TCT? Not really. I didn't buy as much as I thought. I bought LEDs. I went all the way to the Shenzhen electronic market. The only thing I bought there, other than a fidget toy for the little guy, was LED strips. But we'll talk about that later. Did I talk to Bambu? No, I didn't bother talking with Bambu because I didn't have it there. They just had their normal printers, so what's the point? I guess I talked to some people who tried talking to them, and they wouldn't say a thing about the new printer. So I was like, okay. They'll be at Rapid in 2 weeks, and they'll have the new printer there, so I'll be able to chat with them there. Late night bar photos. Have I got stories for you guys? Have I got some stories for you guys? So, but I guess let's get started. So, let me get a print going because this is a print and chill. So let me fire up the, and I'm gonna pronounce it right because some people called me out in the last video I did with the name of the company that makes this printer. So we're gonna power up the Sovol and get it going. And I can't remember if I actually set the Wi-Fi up or if I pantomimed it. I honestly can't remember because I literally was like running on fumes trying to get it all set up. Did I get lost in MSP? Luckily, no. My Doc is awesome. Doc is awesome. If you don't know who Doc is, he's on the Voron team. He does printed forward. Doc travels a lot for his job. I'm not going to tell you what his job is. He could tell you if you need to know. You don't need to know. But anyways, Doc travels a lot for his job. He's a white collar job, so he travels a lot for his job, which means he gets into lounges. And as a friend of Doc, he got me into lounges, and it was nice at airports. I have never been in the lounges for an airport, so Doc kind of like, oh yeah, he's with me, and he got me in, and thank you, Doc. It made the airports a lot better on the way back. Yes, this is a Sovol. You can purchase it at a Target. There's like 3 Canadians in chat who are getting the Target joke. Where is this guy? No, that's that printer. No, that's that printer. I know it's Sovol. So when I see it, based off my understanding of language and local regional dialects, upstate Utica, it's Sovol. But people are like, no, it's Sovol. And I'm like, Sovol. Because like Laval, Quebec, right? Like I'm Canadian. It's like, let me put up a notepad. Okay. This is going to, there are people in my area who will get this. If I hit the right button. What is this? What word is this? This is a name. This is a street name in the town I live. Okay. How do I make the font bigger? How do I make fonts bigger in this frickin'? There you go. This is, you know, as a French Canadian, this is Pierre, right? This is Pierre, right? No, this is Peary. This is Peary. Okay. It's Peary. It's Peary. Don't ask me why. There's a street in my town. You look at the sign. It's this. It's Pierre Street. No, it's Peary Street. Yeah, regional dialects are fun. This is what happens when you live in an area that was originally founded by the French, but then the English came in and kicked all the Frenchies out, but still used French names for a lot of like the original roads in the city, but they pronounce it Englishly, so it's Peary Street. So yeah, so it's Sovol, but I pronounce it Sovol because I'm Canadian, and that's just, I see that spelling, that's how it is. So it is now because people left comments, it is now a Sovol. Enjoy. Anyways, let's find it. Do I have it on my network? I can't remember if I actually saved it on my network. I don't think I did. I think I had an issue with trying to set up the Wi-Fi, so I just said screw it and plugged it into Ethernet. I can't even remember if I said that on the video. It's like the ZPM. Yeah, it's the ZPM. That's how you power your thingamabobber. Okay, whatever. Plug in Ethernet. That's always good. Although I will say the lights on the Ethernet don't pop up. We might end up doing a teardown on this machine. If we do, we do. If we don't, we don't. Look, it works. Orca slicer. I don't think I have the official profile for this yet because it's supposed to be part of Orca Slicer, but I don't think it'll be bundled into it. You can see the screen. That's okay. I got nothing. I'll fix it when we go live. Let me do this. Do that. There we go. So I have like the beta profile, which doesn't really fully work, but it's good enough. Which is basically a modified ACE profile. What are we gonna print? What are we gonna print? What's Jelly Monster? Sure. No, I'm not gonna print that. Let's find something to print because this is a print and chill stream. So we got to print something. Printables. We got to print something. 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 English speaker. You want to know the fun part about language? As long as you get the point across. What's popular in the past week on printables? Freaking benchies. It's always benchies. It's always benchies. It's a repo robot. Is this a single? No, that's multiple pieces. Let's print a little piggy. You guys want to print? Let's print a little piggy. Let's print a little piggy. Let's download the piggy. Open up the piggy. Does the piggy need? Are we gonna roll it without support? Yeah, let's roll it. No, it's gonna need support. Other support. Normal, auto, tree, auto, default, organic. Slice plate. Go. Print. Upload and print. There we go. There we go. Good enough. Okay. It's now officially a print and chill. What day is it? It is Tuesday. Okay. Did you miss me? It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a while. Like how Printables has an open and Orca Slicer. I know. Isn't it nice when companies just like say, hey, let's just, you know, make it work with everything because we don't need to keep our ecosystem for reasons. Every time I go to a trade show and talk to people from other companies, you learn new stuff. And when that new stuff just kind of reinforces your thoughts and opinions on stuff, it's always kind of good. Yeah, what are we doing today? What are we doing today? Okay, first things first. I'm live streaming. Hi, I'm live streaming. Enter to win some POLYMAKER filament. Every stream we give away a spool of POLYMAKER filament. Link in the video description. Enter for your chance to win. Do it now. Because like we're gonna do the draw at the end of the stream. I'm hoping I'll be able to get to the whole stream today. But full disclosure, I'm working on 2 hours of sleep right now. For those that don't know, I went to China last week. I was in China. A huge shout out to Big Tree Tech, BQ, which for those that don't know, and I didn't actually know this, I thought they were like two separate companies. BQ is the actual proper name of the company. Big Tree Tech is a division of BQ. Fun fact, BQ is the initials for Eric, the CEO's name, which is Big Tree. So BQ is the initials of Big Tree, and Big Tree Tech is part of BQ. Yeah. I learned that. Eric's a great guy. If you ever get a chance, talk to Eric. So he's the CEO of Big Tree Tech, or BQ. I'm going to be referring it mostly as Big Tree Tech because I think most of us from my audience and me know them as Big Tree Tech, because Big Tree Tech is the division that basically does the 3D printer boards and accessories and whatnot. BQ is printers, which you don't really hear much of anymore. And Chaotic Lab is part of Big Tree Tech now, or BQ. It's under the umbrella now. This is still loaded with orange filament. Hopefully the orange piggy prints. I think it's doing a nozzle cleaning thing there. Yeah, it's doing a nozzle cleaning thing. That was the ProForge. We've only done one episode on it. We'll continue Friday. I forgot how loud the fan is on this. I'm gonna close the door at some point. So yeah, I'm talking fast because I am all sleep effed. So I'll give you the, we'll do what the current trend is, where we start at the end and then we work our way back. So we'll start at the end, then we'll jump to the beginning. I got in back home. I'll use local time for this. So right now for me, it is currently 2-ish p.m. Eastern. I got home Monday morning at about 12:30 in the morning. Okay. I had woken up Sunday morning at about 6:30 a.m. in Shenzhen, which is a 12-hour time difference. I saw the sunset on Sunday, March 24th, 23rd. I should know it's the 23rd because it's the day after my birthday. I saw the sunset on March 23rd twice. It was really cool. So it's a 12-hour time difference. I got home. I was not tired because for me, it was like noon. I slept a little bit on the plane. I didn't sleep good on the plane at all. But yeah, I got home. I was up till like almost 4 a.m. I finally fell asleep. I completely slept through my alarm because I have to bring the little guy to school. So the little guy got to sleep in about an hour because daddy slept in about an hour. And I brought him to school. And then I came home yesterday and I tried to stay up. And at about 11, I'm like, I'm eepy. I'm going to take a nap. And I went to bed and I woke up at 6 p.m. When my wife woke me up, she's like, hey, you want some dinner? And I'm like, I should probably eat something. And then I was up until 3 a.m. last night. Went to bed. I woke up at 6 a.m. wide awake, and I've been up since then. So I've slept like not a lot in the past like 36 hours, and I am wide awake right now. But you can tell by the fact that I'm talking quite quickly and I'm yapping that I am still recovering. So if I crash, I crash. I'll just end the stream. We'll do the giveaway and call it there. Otherwise, I think you'll be into an entertaining ramble because I am very, this is like the 5th caffeine laden product I've drinking today. I've drinking many caffeines today. So yeah. Time zones are a pain in the ass. Yes, they are, Shane. You travel more than me, I think. So yeah. So let's recap the trip. Did you use melatonin strategically to reset your sleep schedule? I found out something really fun with melatonin. If I take it by itself, I get completely whacked dreams because I took melatonin during this trip. Normally I don't take I'll side tangent in a minute. Normally I don't take melatonin sober. I guess that makes sense. I get crazy whack dreams on melatonin, I found. Like reliving awkward high school moments dreams. I'm not gonna dive into it. I don't like that shit. So yeah, melatonin by itself gives me crazy whack dreams. So I'm trying to not take it. If I take a gummy, I don't fall asleep, so I'll sometimes take melatonin to fall asleep after that. Fun fact, they kind of cancel each other out because you don't dream on the gummy, on the edible. And the melatonin, you get crazy dreams. So they cancel out, you just don't dream. And you fall asleep right away. It's actually not bad. Anyways, tangent over. So let's recap this trip. I've got a bunch of pictures here. I'm going to try and do a quick video for this weekend for the channel where, is it pure melatonin? The bottle is Chinese. It said melatonin. It was a white pill. It knocked me out, but yeah. Let me find my videos. Network. Je savais pas que tu parlais français. Thumbs up du Québec. Yeah, mon français n'est pas très bien. Je parle juste un petit peu. Je peux comprendre. Français, très bon. Mais je ne peux pas parler français très bon parce que j'ai perdu français. Je ne parle français beaucoup, so mon français est perdu. You don't use it, you lose it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, Victory Tech China trip. So, CBD without the edible. Yeah, where's the fun in that? Okay, so I should have enough content from the last trip that I just did for at least 3 videos. We've got a video of TCT Asia itself. Andreas Grundler with the 10 euros for the coffee. Woo! Coffee is great. Did somebody else donate 10 that I missed? Andrew Rogers, $10 for the jet lag fan. Fun fan. Cheers and appreciate to both of you. Understand. I went to a French school till grade 6. So I used to be a lot more fluent in French, but when we moved, my brother and sister weren't doing good in French. My younger brother and sister. So my parents just moved me into an English school because it was closer and it was easier. So unfortunately, yes, I went to a French immersion school and I could almost speak fluent French. If you don't use it, you lose it. So I just kind of forget what a lot of the French words are. I can read it fine. I can understand it pretty good. When I'm in Quebec, I can get by fine because it kind of like comes back to me. But it just, if you want me to start randomly speaking French, I can't remember what half the words are. So I'm like, anyways, so I've got videos from TCT Asia. I didn't really do any interviews. It was doing a trade show like TCT Asia. So for those that don't know, we'll recap. Big Tree Tech flew me, Steve Builds, and Doc from the Voron team out for TCT Asia. TCT Asia is, if you don't know what TCT is, it's like a trade show. They have it in multiple areas. Rapid TCT in Detroit is taking place in 2 weeks. I'm going to that. There's also 360 TCT in Birmingham and a few others. It's more an industrial trade show. It's more of a corporate level trade show. It's not a rep fest, for example. So it is very much like for the biz. It's aimed at for people in the biz. Yeah, people sometimes get in. Like I think this one was, I'm pretty sure this one was open. Anyone can go in, but it's a trade show. So that plus language barrier, because this was in Shanghai, China, plus there really wasn't much new there. Like nobody made any big announcements. Bambu was there. They didn't have any of their new printer. The only people that had like a new printer that I recorded actually a decent amount of footage with was Mello and their Hevort. So what I did was I basically walked around and recorded a bunch of random footage of everything I thought was kind of cool. And I'm going to try and put that together into a video, which will be like and I'll do some voiced over. So it'll just be B-roll with me talking about the cool things I saw at the show. So that'll be video 1. Video 2 will be a tour of BQ, Big Tree Tech. So I did a tour of their office space, their PCB factory. We didn't get a chance due to timing and location. They weren't all in one area. Like it's like an hour-and-a-half drive to the different locations. So I didn't get a chance to visit their CNC factory or shop, but I do have like B-roll footage of it, so I'll use that, and their warehouse. So we got a video of TCT Asia. We got a VVD update soon, hopefully before mid-year. They are at, I can't go into it. They have functional prototypes of production models. They're in the fine-tuning stage before getting into mass production kind of phase. I can't really dive more into that because that part of the video is blurry. I don't know what happened. As soon as I walked into that room in their office, everything got blurry. Did I talk to Bambu Lab Dr. Tao? No. If he's at Rapid, I will. I didn't see him there. I didn't really stop in the Bambu booth. It was really busy for one. You'll see I took a picture. And 2, they didn't have anything new. So I was like, okay. So yeah, so we got TCT Asia video, Bambu tour video. We went to the Shenzhen shopping, like electronics market. I will probably try and put out a video about that. That is just like all the B-roll that I record, because I just recorded it with my phone. I just walked around and took videos with my phone, and then I'll put some voice over that. So those are 3 videos, but what I'm going to try and do is just do a quick vlog video, just kind of talking about it, and I'll try to have that out this weekend, because I've got like 100 gigs of footage I got to figure out what to do with. I got like 100 gigs, because like, or actually here, I can tell you exactly how much footage I have. 80 gigs. I got 80 gigs of footage. Or BQ. Yeah, it's BQ. Yeah, it's a BQ tour, not Big Tree, Bambu. Yeah, I got 80 gigs of footage, and a lot of it is like a 20-minute one take of walking around, and I don't like video editing, so it's going to take a bit to get all this footage like put together. So the first thing I'm going to try and do is what we're going to talk about today, but in like an 8-minute video. So yeah, so that's kind of the plan. So let me we'll go through my phone here. So first things first, was Naomi there? No, she was not there. I did talk to some people who had recently talked to her, and she seems to be doing okay. She's apparently active, but she's active over there. So she's active on social media, but on the other side of the firewall, which is the first thing I'm going to discuss. My phone worked. I brought my phone, like not this phone, because this is my normal phone and my USB-C charger doesn't work. The USB-C port on this phone just doesn't work. You have to like fiddle with the cable, so I wireless charge it. So when I travel, I use the battery banks and whatnot for charging the phone. So I use my wife's old phone. So I have my wife's old phone. I just threw the SIM card in, and I use my normal cell plan on roaming because I have a business plan, so I can turn on like roaming to like, and it was like $50, and I got my whole plan just carried over to Asia countries. So my phone just worked in China, and yeah, no firewall at all. Because I was on my normal phone roaming, there was no firewall. I was able to go on Discord, Google, YouTube, all that on my phone. Twitter, the Blue Sky. Oh, no, we're good. All of it worked. If you connect to the local Wi-Fi, yeah, there is a firewall. I used Let's VPN as my VPN. It blew right through that firewall. No issue. Why wouldn't the phone work in China? It was made there. I mean, like the actual connection. No stream just because of internet connection. I was on roaming on my phone, which gave me LTE speeds. And basically at the event itself, it was insanely busy. It was like Big Tree Tech tried doing a stream. If you saw the Big Tree Tech stream, I posted it in my Discord. I posted a link to it. It was choppy AF. And they had a good connection. They were on like the local stuff, and it was that bad. So I wasn't gonna try streaming. There was the 12-hour time difference too. So I would have had to either stream first thing in the morning or right at the end of the day in order for like everyone here to be awake, or at least my North American audience. So I didn't try streaming. It wasn't gonna work. It wasn't gonna be worth it. So I guess we'll go through it and we'll just kind of talk about stuff as it comes up. I think I don't have anything in here that is, I would consider private. Pretty much everything I took pictures of was stuff that was good to go. So I guess we'll go through this. Yeah, so my understanding, Chris, because I did look it up, TLDR, if you're a foreigner on your foreign phone roaming, they don't care. They don't care about some, you know, they don't care about a foreigner just visiting, checking their Facebook. They just don't care. The firewall is pretty much just for locals, and if you're smart enough to get through it, you're smart enough to know to follow the rules and not be an idiot about it, apparently. That's kind of their thinking. So flying out of Detroit, I flew Delta on the way there and most of the way back. I like flying Delta. They arranged everything. But yeah, the flight, I flew from Detroit to Seattle. So Seattle, This is my plane that was in Seattle waiting for me, and I met this dude. This is Steve. Our flight to Shanghai was pretty uneventful. Look, the beacons are lit. This is flying out of Seattle. Unfortunately, I couldn't say hi to Joel. It was like land, take off. It was like a 2.5 hour layover. Where is this at? Oh, this was the takeoff. Some of it might be slightly out of order. This is taken off out of there. So this is more stuff. I think this was coming in. Yeah. So this was flying out over the Pacific. The wing was falling apart. They're slats in the wing. Don't worry, I flew an Airbus, not a Boeing. So I lived, as you can tell. So this is flying out over the Pacific. Look at the pretty clouds. Coming into Shanghai, as soon as you get below the clouds, everything, how do I put this nicely? The render distance drops due to particulates in the atmosphere. But they have wind farm offshore. Were meals inexpensive? Expensive in Shanghai and Shenzhen? No. We'll talk about that. So yeah, coming in, wind farm offshore, and then all the apartments. This isn't even Shanghai. This isn't even Shanghai. So like this is coming in, and then touchdown in Shanghai, well, Shanghai airport. And then this is me going, look, I'm in China. I'm in China. Here is Luke from Big Tree Tech accosting the polite robot as it attempts to work. When the machines rise up, Luke, they will remember. They will remember that. This is the view outside of my hotel room. The hotel was very nice. It was meant for a relaxed and happy making person. There was quite a bit of English. It was funny. Can accommodate more than 100 guests. Repast, unique decoration, and elegant dining, emotional appeal. This was looking out of the other side of my hotel room, or the hotel itself. This is driving to the show. We got in. Our flight there was pretty uneventful. So I'll talk about the flight in. The flight in was pretty good. Me and Steve had 2 seats. At the back of the plane, it was 2-4-2. So me and Steve just had 2 seats by the window. It was pretty good. I slept for like 4 hours on the flight in, which was enough to make me land tired. I tried to sleep in my... I switched to their time easier than I'm having a time switching back to my time. Put it that way. I switched over to China time a lot easier than switching from China time to this time. I don't know, it's because of your direction, or if I slept a little better on the flight there than the flight back. We'll talk about the flight back when we get to the flight back. But yeah, that was that. Landed. Customs was easy. I had heard, obviously, so much, like, call it what it is, propaganda about, like, oh, going to China, what, you know, and I believe some of it. I believe, like, the whole, hey, they're gonna image your phone, they're gonna check your laptop, they're gonna do all this stuff. No, if anything, TSA, American TSA, y'all got to get your shit together, because they were efficient AF. You land. As you walk to the customs area of the airport, they have little scanners everywhere where you do like or little kiosks where you just walk up and you pre-check into their thing. So you scan your fingerprints, you fill out a little questionnaire, and then when you get in line, it's all digital, it's all stored. So when you get there and you go through customs, they're like, okay, you scan your passport, they already have your fingerprints on file. You give them your visa, which is in your passport. They ask you a couple questions and off you go. That was it. The guy next to me worked for Pokemon, and he got through it quicker than me. Because I didn't have the copy of my invitation letter like printed. I had to pull it up on my phone, so that took a minute. But the guy next to me is like, I'm here for business. What do you do? I work for Pokemon. Okay, you're in. Whereas me is like, oh, I'm here for a trade show, and then I'm going down to Shenzhen, and they're like, oh, okay, and they check and they check. I was like, okay, off you go. Fingerprints? Yeah, fingerprints. Yeah, you get fingerprinted when you go into China. Simple as that. It is what it is. When you're in somebody's house, you follow their rules. So they scan, it's digital, they don't got the ink, but they scan your fingerprints when you enter China and when you leave. So they scan your fingerprints, they take your picture, and boom, you're in the country. Then you walk out of the airport and it's like, off you go. A lot of countries fingerprint. Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, remember, for those that want to scream, for the Americans in chat screaming Moretz, when you enter a foreign country, you have no rights. They are free to do whatever you want at those border crossings. You have no right to enter another country. You are there at their discretion. If they want to say, hey, if you want to enter our country, you have to jump on one toe, rub your tummy, and pat your head. And if you don't do it, we're going to kick you out. You rub your tummy, pat your head, and jump on one toe. That's how it is. That's how it is. You have no rights. You have no right to enter another country. If you don't want to follow their rules, you don't enter their country. It is what it is. You're entering somebody else's house. So yeah. But yeah, TSA get their shit together because it was so quick. It was quick. Like going through security and everything, very quick. Every large gathering place, the events, airports, train stations, you have to go through a security checkpoint. I'm pretty sure a lot of it is for show because you just kind of throw your bag on a conveyor, it goes through a scanner, and they wand you and you walk in. It's like not even 10 seconds. But pretty much every public place you go through has security. And then, so yeah, so we were in, and then we went to the hotel. And then this is going from the hotel to the event center. It was about a half-hour drive through morning Shanghai traffic, which is insane. There's the event center. It was absolutely massive. It's like a giant lotus. So there was like 4 petals or whatever. So yeah, it was massive. So we got dropped off, and like we had to walk there because like everyone got dropped off way far away because traffic was insane. The event we were going to was in the Canadian section, as you can see here. So this is everyone kind of walking. So this was the day we went in the right entrance, by the way. The second day we went in the wrong entrance. It still got us in, but it took a bit longer. That's Steve. There's Doc. That's Rich from Big Tree Tech. Awesome dude. He was pretty much our chaperone, and to make sure the dumb foreigners who don't speak the language didn't do anything stupid. So if anyone from Big Tree Tech is watching, give Rich a raise. Good dude. Walking into the front of the event. There's some pictures. So I don't have a lot from the event on my phone because I recorded most of it on my DJI Osmo. So this is them live streaming or setting up the live stream, I think. So a bunch of random prints. Oh, this was like the community corner. So like this was all like prints people had done and brought. My vacation to Mexico, TSA getting my own country. The longest crossing I had to do was me coming back into Canada, but we'll talk about that at the end. So these are all 3D printed, and these are all mostly ABS actually. I don't know what printers they were printed on, but a lot of these are ABS and PETG, which is smart if you're doing giant stuff like this. You don't want to accidentally print it. And what printer? Starforge. Everything was in Chinese. So I think this is a Metabot. I think this is from something. It looks familiar. This is also 3D printed. This one came out really good. This was really cool. I don't know what it's from. I'm assuming one of the mobile games there. It had like the little cockpit and whatnot. Did I use AR translation on myself? A little bit, but not much actually. You'd be surprised how little I had to use the translator app. This was a bio printer. This little doggy just waved a flag, I think, at one of the booths. Giant 3D printer. There's always a bunch of giant 3D printers. I find your lack of mech. Shane, I want to get into Gundam. I have watched a Gundam. I have watched a Gundam series. I can't remember which one, but I have watched one of them. The problem is I would like to get into Gundam because, you know, I would like to get into Gunpla and whatnot. The problem is I don't know where to flip and start. There's too much. They had several filament lines there. This one had pictures everywhere saying don't take video, which I found out after I recorded a bunch of video of it. But nobody stopped me, and it's just a filament production line. SLS stuff. I'm going to kind of go through the event quickly because there's going to be a dedicated video on the event. But TLDR, it's a lot like, it's a trade show. It's a trade show. Giant drones. A lot of drone stuff. A lot of drone stuff. This was a robot scanning a rocket engine. It keeps catching on something when I hear it, but I don't know what it's doing. I think it's fine. So giant robot arm with a scanner, a lot of scanners, giant 3D printers again, a lot of giant 3D printers. This I got like the most footage of. I wanted to try and do a video on the Hevort that Mello is putting out. But I think it will just be part of the TCT video itself because I have like 4 or 5 minutes of footage on it. This was really cool. They had like a little, it's Core XZ, but it's like a mini switch wire. You know, it's not a switch wire. Mello, I don't know what kind of economies of scale. Yeah, it's 4mm belts. I don't know what kind of economies of scale Mello is working with, but they have so much machined aluminum components on the stuff they're working on. And I'm like, how are you guys doing this? Like, it's not that expensive. I'm like, okay. Okay. Oh yeah, the previous printer is 12 mil. So yeah, I have no idea how they're making that work, economies of scale. Not a V0, very much like a dice. But again, all machined aluminum. Fadus folks were good. The CEO of Fadus is like, hey, you should come by our factory. And I'm like, I would love to. I don't have time. We didn't get a chance to go visit LDO when we were in Shenzhen. We wanted to. We just, timetable was just not there, unfortunately. If we had like an extra day or two, we would have been able to do much more. But it was basically like the 3 days in Shanghai for the show, where it was like, do the show all day, dinner after the show, we're done. And then we'll get to the Thursday. So that was the 3 days of the show. Oh yeah, the Bambu booth. So they had the Bambu booth there. I didn't see anyone I recognized. And everything was old. Like they didn't have any new stuff. Face should get you over for another trip. That would be cool. I don't think I'm gonna go. I mean, my visa is good for 10 years. So I can always visit again. I'm not gonna put the wife through that though. The Bam booth, if you will. I can't remember which company this was because I'm really bad at documenting stuff where I took a bunch of pictures and then I forgot which company it was. I'm just gonna say they have a tool changer. And their docking and undocking mechanism looks very similar to a certain Chechen-based 3D printing company's docking and undocking mechanism. Not gonna cry foul because it's open source, I believe. But yeah, it was just very, 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 very similar. I mean, if it works, it works. Why reinvent the wheel? Derdackle, €5 for the extra day fund. Cheers and appreciate it. But I mean, like, yeah, if it works, it works. This was my favorite company in the world. This was a mold. For those that don't know, Chechia I know it's official. Czechia. Is it Czechia? It's Czechia. That's the official name of the country now, right? It's Czechia. I know it's Czech Republic, but it's the Czechia. And if you're from Czechia, you're Chechen. Right? Am I right, Shane? I know the country's Czechia, but Prusa is Chechen, right? People from Czechia are Czechia? No, not Chechen. Okay, how? Czechia. Is it Czechia? Is that how you're supposed to? So Czechian? Not Czech. I'm not saying Chechian. I'm saying Czech. I have a lisp, so that doesn't really help. It's Czech. Czechian. Czechian. It looks a lot like Prusa. Okay, anyways, moving on. So this was a mold. This was like a company, they do like resin. A lot of resin stuff. A lot of resin stuff. A lot of flexible resin stuff. I want to play with flexible resin stuff. I'm just going to say that. There are a lot of resin stuff here at the show. I want to play with flexible resins. So many 3D printed shoes. So many 3D printed shoes at this event. Check. So it's Czechia. So Czechian. Okay. Anyways, mold. This company sells resin that they use to make like the inserts here in molds, because if you're doing prototyping, you only need to do a couple dozen shots. Why go through all the machining when you can just print a mold that is good enough out of like, I'm pretty sure this is porcelain based. But anyways, I nerded out with the guys because I am for those that don't know, my background is injection molding. I'm a mold maker by trade before I got into YouTubing. So I was like, hey, it's a mold and blah, 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 blah. Doc and Steve were there and I got to nerd out about it. This was really cool. This is one of the guys brought for the BQ like meet and greet thing. We had a meet and greet each day. For those that don't know, the Voron community in China is actually quite large. The Voron community in China is quite large. That is one of the reasons Big Tree Tech brought us out for this show, was kind of like, everyone kind of knows the heyday of the open source community design 3D printing is kind of, I won't say over, but it's in the waning, where I think during like early COVID was the peak of it. And now consumer printers are starting to become much more capable, much more are starting to become the norm. So it's kind of like a last hurrah, bring some Voron guys out and we'll do like a meet and greet and whatnot. So every day we had like a meet and greet scheduled, and a bunch of people came up and signed and thanked and shook hands and took a bunch of pictures. But yeah, the Chinese Voron community is awesome. I know we don't really interact with them much, obviously, because, you know, the Great Firewall and all that. But they do some crazy stuff. And one guy brought his sword, which has a vape in it and RGB LEDs, and it was really cool. So he brought a smoking sword. A lot of metal SLS. This is all metal. I know Chechnya is a different place. I'm trying to. Oh yeah. Those are. How did Doc put it? What was the term Doc used? Steve, if you're in chat, what was the term Doc used for these material sample devices? No, they are not what you think they are. But yeah. They were everywhere. I have, I think like 20 clips of me walking by those. I'm not going to say it's going to make a video on its own. But they were everywhere. They were everywhere. Here's a 3D printed metal boat with some fish in it. This was a giant Darth Vader printed in ABS. I'm pretty sure this was one piece for the most part. I think the sword was separate. Yeah, Yeah, this is actually it might be 2 pieces. Yeah, it's 2 pieces. You can see it's 2 pieces of the hip. This is King's 3D printing. So what's really cool about this machine, it runs Clipper. It just runs Clipper. It's a giant 3D printer. It just runs Clipper, just normal Clipper. What nozzle size is that? Yes. I think the Vader was a 2mm nozzle. It was a pellet printer, or actually it might have been bigger. Do they have a working? They didn't have a Gigastorm there, but it was printing little stuff. This is more SLS, a lot of SLS. We went out for Hot Pot the first night. So it was pretty good. Bitry Tech was there. Claire and I can't remember who else. Some people from E3D had gone to the show, but they didn't have a booth. They just went to the show to go to the show. And we all met up for Hot Pot the first night. My fears of my picky diet came to fruition, but not as badly as I thought. Not as badly as I thought. I learned some stuff. One, I know how to use chopsticks. I never used chopsticks. I learned very quickly how to use chopsticks. You had to, because like, we didn't really go to a lot of the touristy areas. We went to areas where the locals go, and the locals use chopsticks. So I kind of had to learn how to use chopsticks. I ordered chopsticks yesterday, or actually this morning. I ordered some chopsticks this morning. I actually kind of liked it. As for Hot Pot, I'll be honest, I'm not going to say I was disappointed, but it was not what I expected. I thought Hot Pot was fried. I thought Hot Pot was fried foods. They're boiled. Like, it's fresh food. You get, for those that don't know what Hot Pot is, you have a pot in the middle that's boiling. And they bring you out vegetables, which I didn't eat because I know how picky I am, so I wasn't gonna risk it. Well, I thought it was oil. I thought Hot Pot was oil. Okay, 3D Nomad. I'm learning. I'm not cultured. I'm learning. So I thought Hot Pot was oil. It's boiling water. Now there is oils in it, and you got a ton of spices. So like this one was Szechuan, which, yeah, Szechuan. This one was like tomato, and then this one was like a mushroom thing that I didn't dare touch. But yeah, it's like a broth. It's an oily broth, but it's mostly water. I didn't realize that. I didn't know. I've never been to Hot Pot. I'd only seen like pictures of it and like the odd video where it's like, okay, you put it in the middle, it's all boiling and you take it out. I thought it was fried. I thought it was oil. I didn't know it was water. So for me, the meat kind of had a weird texture to it because it's thin meat, and then you throw it in and then it gets all boiled in the flavors and everything. And then you take it out and you dip it in your little sauce that you make yourself. So you have like a little condiment thing, and you go to the table and you put all the different flavors you want in your sauce. I went with like a peanut soy. I just threw everything in. It wasn't bad. Oop, I hit a button. So yeah, it was actually pretty good. Yeah, no, there is no fried Hot Pot. I just didn't know what it was. I thought it was oil. I thought it was all oil, but it's a broth. It's like water. So it for me, texture is a lot when it comes to food. Certain like textures I can't do. So it kind of threw me off at first. I got used to it really quick. But another thing that threw me off, no sugar. Very little sugary foods there, and not a lot of bread. Like potatoes and bread, not as common as like North American diet. And definitely everything was not as sugary. Everything was kind of lean. A lot of like noodles and like everything was lean. So this was the second day of the show. These apartment complexes are everywhere. Like there's barely any like housing. You do see houses, but it's like nowhere near like in North America. Everyone lives in an apartment basically, and they are everywhere. So this was the second day of the show where we went in the wrong entrance because we got dropped off on the other side of the building. So this is the entrance for another trade show that was taking place at the same time, which was like a food show. So if you wanted some like glutamate sorbate additive for your food, you would go to this show. This was the line to get in. Yeah. Yeah. 3D printed shoes were very popular. This is why I want to start playing around with flexible resins, but 3D printed shoes were absolutely everywhere at the show. I tried asking the guy if like the fabric was 3D printed. I'm pretty sure it is. But okay, so this is one of the things why I didn't do a video. Normally you guys know my content when I go to an event. I do like interviews where it's like, hey, for those that can't be here, what would you say? So I try to like film a video from like my point of view so that somebody who wasn't able to go to the show would be able to see the cool stuff. The problem is language barrier. A lot of people spoke English, but not conversational English, I noticed. It wasn't too bad. There was only one incident where I actually like, I had to pull up my translating app to get something like, to figure something out with somebody. But other than that, it was like, but not enough to do like a full interview. So that's why I'm going to do a lot of talking over with the video. This is one of the booths. I tried finding somebody who like could explain these to me in like English, and it just wasn't happening. Actually, let me go back here. But yeah, these are all 3D printed shoes. A lot of 3D printed shoes at it. Was it a Yeezy clone? Maybe. I mean, I really don't care about cloning Yeezys. Yeah, this was somebody's know me at the Big Tree Tech booth going, yeah. This was a picture of the Mellow booth. The Mellow folks were good. Good chatting with them. This is me like the second time using chopsticks, trying to eat rice for the first time with chopsticks. Hooray for sticky rice. And yes, I know I'm holding it too close to the tip. I know you got to hold it further back. I learned, I was figuring it out as I go. But yeah, so I got, oh, my mouse froze for a second. I got better with chopsticks as I went. A VZ-Bot that Mellow has, it's all CNC'd and whatnot. Really cool what they did with the rails, where their X-beam is actually 2 rails with spacers in between. I'm not going to talk a lot about the stuff at the show because there'll be a dedicated video on the show. This is just kind of a yap and chat recap, and if anyone has questions, ask me. And then I'm going to basically do what I just did now, but as a video for Friday. And no, I'm not going to just be lazy and cut this part out of the stream. I might. We'll see. One fed from a bowl. Yeah. This was their 2-inch hot end. So this is the, what do they call it? They call it the the dual velo. So this is a 2-in, 1-out nozzle that it's just for flow. So you just can shove more filament into it. This was the melt zone on it. So that'll be a video. This was a Pepsi that actually had the old school pull tab. And it was really cool. Like the actual peel off pull tab. Yeah, it was water cooled. The Hevorts were water cooled. How was internet access? I spoke about it at the beginning. I had my phone, or correction, I had my wife's phone because I didn't bring my actual phone. But I had my wife's phone that I put my SIM card in because it was her old phone. So it had like no personal data on it. I basically blanked it, like factory reset it, put my SIM card in, installed the apps I needed, and then went. Because I was roaming, I had no firewall on my phone at all. If you connected to local Wi-Fi though, there was a firewall, but you could punch through it. I used Let's VPN, it worked great. So if you're looking for a VPN to get you through the China firewall, Let's VPN is what I used, and it worked really good. But yeah, this was a pull tab Pepsi. that I found. It was pretty good. I mean, it's Pepsi. Not high fructose corn syrup though, actual sugar. And it was Glenn Dimplex, whoever you are, your company was great because you gave me a Pepsi. It was kind of nice. Okay, no, not nice. How do I phrase? A lot of booths had things you could get for free if you signed up for contests and like information and whatnot. But if you kind of walked up as the English-speaking white guy who doesn't speak any Chinese, they just kind of gave stuff to you. So, yeah. I just kind of, everyone's like trying to enter stuff, and I was like, oh, yeah, Pepsi, okay, thank you. Yeah. So yeah, it was a proper pull tab Pepsi. I had never, I'm too young. I'm 37 now, and I'm too young for pull tabs. Bearded Printer gifted a community membership. Cheers and appreciate it. I also got a fountain pen from a company, but it was like, it has no ink in it, so I have to buy fountain pen ink. This bike is all 3D printed aluminum or aluminium. This was some beer we had. Oh, we went to this place, Shanghai Brew, or not Shanghai, Chop House, I think it was called. This was outside of it. It was totally a expat bar. There, something bourbon barrel or something, I can't remember. It was pretty good, but it was like a Chinese take on an American like keg type place, like a smoke and spice or like a barbecue place. It's kind of funny, or not funny, but it was like different because like when I go and get ribs somewhere or pulled pork, I kind of know what it would taste like, and they emulate it. But you could tell it's slightly different because like the regional spices are different, and like, yeah, it might be, yeah, they use brown sugar, but their brown sugar is different than our brown sugar. So it was very close, but you could tell something was off, but it was still good. Everywhere we ate was good. This is me failing to get a shot. I found a Tim Hortons. There was a Tim Hortons at the trade show area. They call it Tim's. The coffee sucked, and it's like Starbucks over there. Tim's there is like a Starbucks. There it tries to be a Starbucks type thing. They didn't have the donuts. They didn't have any of the donuts I know. They had like it was Tim Hortons in name only, essentially. Essentially, this was Tim Hortons in name only. This had, other than the fact that it was called Tim Hortons and sold garbage coffee, it had nothing in common with Tim Hortons. I was like, oh, look, I found a Timmy's. And then I went inside and got disappointed because I'm like, I walk up and I'm like, hey, large double. And she's like, points at the sign and like, and I'm like, this isn't what this is Americano. Okay, Americano, 2 cream, 2 sugar. And she gives me the Americano and she's like, cream and sugar over there. And I'm like, okay. Anyways, so yeah, other than it being called Tim Hortons and having garbage coffee, it had nothing to do with it. It was not like Tim Hortons. Although, hey, PLA lid. Oh yeah, Mello has a nozzle probe that is very, it works similar to like the E3D PZ probe, although I think it's a different sensor. I can't remember. So they were just demoing that there. This was Polymer. They were selling 3D printed shoes and loafers. I didn't buy any because I was trying to be somewhat budget conscious on this trip. But they had this little robot here demoing how they like go between machines. So it would like print it and then would put it in the cleaning bat automatically. I think this is after the show ended and us going to downtown Shanghai. Yeah, I think this is us going downtown Shanghai. Yeah, this was us going to downtown Shanghai. So see this kind of driving? So you look out the window and you see this and you're like, oh, hey, you must be getting close to downtown. No, dog, it's that for an hour straight. You You just drive through like these kind of sites for like an hour straight. The city doesn't end. It doesn't begin. It's like the Energizer Bunny. It just keeps going and going and going. Hey, this is downtown Shanghai. That building is from The Dark Knight, isn't it? You like the new Bambu? We haven't talked about it yet. We're going to dive into the new Bambu after this. As for I'll give you a quick teaser though. I like some of it. Other stuff I think is really stupid. But anyways, I'm pretty sure this building was in The Dark Knight. Anyways, yeah, we're in China. Look at all those things. So I guess this area was like originally built by the French, I think. A lot of like older, you'll see a picture of it from the other side that makes a bit more sense. What I'm referring to, but apparently it's like, yeah, me filming my pocket for an hour there. I don't know why I haven't deleted that one yet. So there's some pictures looking over that. That was cool. There's me smiling, going, look at me, I'm in front of stuff. Old buildings with Chinese flags everywhere. You know what's funny? I see more American flags in America than Chinese flags in China. For the whole trip, I saw one Mao poster. Two. There was one street vendor selling stuff, like old, like propaganda CCP stuff, or CCCP stuff, CCP stuff, with Mao and whatnot, in a little red book. And then I saw one poster in a factory. Other than that, everything in this country is new. Like, everything is new. And all the new stuff is normal. Like, I'll talk about it later, but like after like the initial, like once you land and get through customs and everything, and you're like, I'm just in a foreign country. Like, yeah. Don't believe the tour guide on the road. Please pay attention to consumption trap. There's that. I kind of wish I had brought my phone, because my wife's old phone is like a Samsung 20 FE or something, so camera on it wasn't the greatest. This was its attempt at a panorama. The sun was setting. Me talking, there's Luke, Doc, B. Ferry across the river. There are tunnels that go under the river. So, one thing is extremely different than North American cities. Everything's electric. Everything is electric. Traffic is insane. Traffic is insane. Everyone drives everywhere. It is very much aggressive. You don't do defensive driving, you do aggressive driving. And I guess the driving in Shenzhen was a lot better than the driving in Shanghai, which is true for me, like being a passenger. Everything is electric. In the big cities, you have to buy I guess in China, the way it works is you have to buy a plate. Okay, you don't register, like you have to buy a plate and then you put the plate on the vehicle that allows you to drive. So you can buy a vehicle and not have a plate. Okay. So to drive the vehicle, you have to buy a plate for it. In the big cities, if you want to buy a plate for a gas vehicle, it's $5,000. If you want to buy a plate for an EV vehicle, it's free. Everyone has EVs in the city. Like the vast majority of, like when you see these videos, you see the green plates, EV, 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 EV. All taxis are EV. London bus. We also saw a London cab, like a black London cab. But I didn't get any pictures of it. Also, all the mopeds, EVs. All the mopeds are battery, which means I almost got taken out by them quite often because you don't hear them coming. This is the Shanghai Spire or Tower or whatever it is, an old radio tower. We went up it. Also, this is a Disney store in China. This is a picture of the inside of the Disney store in China. This is a picture of Winnie the Pooh in China, in the Disney store in China. So yeah, apparently that's not a thing that he's banned. Maurice, welcome back. Thank you. There's the giant tower. Did I notice the shadow miners? That, I'll be honest, it's not a thing. And if we did have shadow miners, they ate good because we went in a bunch of good places. Yeah, Disney is huge in China. Yeah, I think some people have like the thinking that it's kind of like the old school Soviet Union, and it's not. There are too many people. Like, I could see if I went over there as like a CEO or a high-ranking engineer at like Boeing or Lockheed Martin or like any big company, okay, maybe. But if you're just a dude going over there to just hang out or go to like a trade show like I did, they don't care. They don't care. Simple as that. Like, I tried to take a picture with the Shanghai thing, but I couldn't get it wide enough. Visitors are not allowed to bring in all kinds of prohibited items. So this was looking out over the city, but as you can see, it just disappears into the render distance because the city just goes on forever. It doesn't stop. This was that old area I was talking about. So you can see all the old buildings that they kept. I think these are French. They call it something. I can't remember what they call it. I think they call it the Bun, like B-U-H-N or something. But yeah, maybe just journalists. I mean, here's the thing. Like, if you, I mean, I'll be honest. Chinese propaganda, America, all countries do propaganda. So yeah, so this was looking out over the city. You're gonna see my also you're gonna see my finger in a bunch of videos. Anything from the phone, about half the stuff I took, you're gonna see my finger right here. At the air quality. Oh, the air quality. Yeah, it actually wasn't that bad. So, I think it was Luke had the app on his phone that like showed you air quality, and it was pretty much equivalent to like LA in a lot of the places. So yeah, so this was looking out at the sunset. There's Eric. Random people. It was funny. You got to certain areas and you could tell they were areas that were popular with like the Chinese influencers, because you would see people taking pictures for the equivalent of the Chinese gram in a bunch of spots. Look how focused this, it's so focused on me and everything is just completely out of focus. Oh, that one came out better. It was cool. They had little pictures up here that were pointing towards all the different cities. Stay always the same as that. I mean, we're not going to get into the geopolitical aspect of it all. Every country has their own rule. But in terms of like, as a dude who just went there and came back, it felt no different to me than going to any other country. Like, every other country has their own thing. Now, I'm not going to say laws are different. They are different. You're in somebody's house, you follow their rules. But in terms of like, all countries are different. But I didn't feel any different being here than I did in like England or whatever. Every country is different in their own way. But for me, it's just like, okay, I'm in another country. Whoop-de-doo. So yeah, so this is more overlooking the city. It just keeps going. It just keeps going. But the thing is, once the lights go off, this is the sunset, sun going down. What's the noise pollution like? Quieter. Quieter than any other big city I've ever been in. Horns are common. People use their horns a lot when driving, but all the vehicles are EV. So it was insane walking around. Later on, I'll get to it at some point. There was one night in Shenzhen. I left my hotel at like 9 o'clock at night and wandered around for 2 hours by myself. I just left my hotel room, walked down a street for like 45 minutes, turned around, came back, and then walked another way for like half an hour, turned around and came back, and then I walked another way for like 20 minutes and came back. I went wandering around for 2 hours by myself at night through the night markets in Shenzhen. It was fine. It was like, okay. I didn't feel threatened at any point. I didn't feel like I was like, okay, well, we're just walking around. And it was quiet. The only thing you heard was just people. Although it is very common there for people to advertise their wares on speakers. So you will have somebody just sitting there going like, buy my dragons. These are the best dragons in the world. Buy them now. Would you like to buy my dragon? Basically that kind of hawking. It's just very common. That's just how they do it. Remember, cultural differences, right? It's called the Bund. Okay, the Bund is what this place called. You'll see it in a second here. It looks really cool once night hits. Shanghai versus Detroit, what's safer? I have crossed into Detroit before where the cop told me to strap up because we were going over for an IPSC match and we did have our pew-pews with us, and they're like, cool, hang on to those, you might need them. In Shanghai, in all of China, I saw one gun, and it was a police officer at the airport while we were leaving. The joy, or correction, how do I say this? The upside of everything being monitored and having cameras everywhere, there are cameras everywhere, and nobody's dumb. Nobody's dumb enough to break the law, especially like assaulting a tourist in a tour. If anyone here has ever traveled to a tourist area or any area that's dependent on like foreigners or whatever, you kind of know, the locals know not to F with the like, for example, when I went to Aruba, the hotel's like, don't take the local taxis. Like they have the little, like, you know, the little vans that you pay $2 and they take anywhere in the city, in the country. All the hotels are like, no, don't take those. They're not safe or whatever. We took them everywhere. The hotels say that because they make more money off the buses versus the local drivers. The local drivers are like, nah, dog, you're a tourist. Our entire economy depends on you. We're going to treat you like royalty because we need you. We'd be screwed without you. What happens is every now and then a cab driver does take advantage of a foreigner, and when all the other cab drivers find out, they go beat the crap out of them because it's like, no, dog, don't ruin it. So yeah, I was fine. I'd rather be, again, Projects in Dad's Garage, we are not going to dive into socio-economic, political, cultural differences between countries and their way of life and thinking. Like, we're just not going to. But I will say, at no point during this entire trip, I felt unsafe. Except sometimes the DDs drive up. DD is their equivalent of Uber. Some of the DD drivers are a little insane, but they got us there. But yeah, whatever to the chat buddy downstairs. I just don't have them in the garage yet. I don't have it in the garage yet. Rather be responsible for my own safety. Yeah, there's too many conversations going on. Oh, look, Apple Store. Like, I mean, like, there's Gucci stores. It's, yeah. From a tourist city, locals will try and sell you overpriced, but crimes, yeah, there's a big difference between trying to take monetary advantage of a dumb tourist and actually like crossing that line. This was at the top. They had like this whole themed thing. I bought a Lego set for the little guy here. Well, not Lego. I think I got a picture of it later. But the little guy is huge into Lego right now. So I bought him you'll see it in a bit. So this is the sun setting. The sun sets about here because once it hits about here, the pollution blocks it out completely. Yeah, so you can see like the sun is set because there's all the haze. It did not rain once the whole time we were here. I didn't see any rain. How's the zero print going? That's a good question. It's going good. Once the sunset though, but yeah, once the sunset, all the buildings light up. A lot of it is ads. I don't want to know how many LEDs exist in China. But yeah, all the buildings like in the big cities light up at night with LEDs, or a lot of the buildings. So these are the old buildings. I do love how they didn't go crazy with the LEDs on them. They just have like some like low K value lights on them. So like 4,000 K lights. It's nice and like sun, like soft light on all these old buildings up here. It looked really nice at night. It's like Tetris on one of them. But yeah, they just like, they play little videos. Some of them are synchronized together between like different, like this one is synchronized between the different buildings. Some of them are just ads. Like, yeah, this is just playing ads on a giant skyscraper at night. The boats all light up. Oh yeah, and this was a glass floor too. Yeah, so this is kind of walking around. Yeah, the future. Well, remember, everything you see here is like new in the last like 20 years. Like, except for the building I'm in is like one of the oldest buildings in the area. But yeah, like everything is like new. Like everything is just, it's new. Come to Shanghai. Just sit on top of the arc reactor. So yeah, this was a good picture. So yeah, you can see all the old buildings. I'm pretty sure they're French. They were telling me they were French buildings. Like they're from like the old city. Yeah, so it was really cool. It took me a little bit to get over my vertigo. I have vertigo when it comes to, I don't mind being up high, but being up high and looking over the edge trips me, especially when it's unsupported. So it took me a minute to get used to the glass floor, but once I did, it was fine. I took a bunch of pictures. This was a little bit further down, where it was like an outdoor area, which was really nice because inside the glass bubble was really hot. This is me trying to record the elevator, but this part was all in concrete. So it's just all concrete. Yeah, there's, Drew, everything is always under construction. There is construction going on every day of the week, all hours of the day in areas of the cities. It's insane. Like, it is just insane how much construction is going on. Have I done the CN Tower? Surprisingly not. I've been to the CN Tower, but I've never actually gone up it. I've been to like the visitor center and everything. I just never gone up the CN Tower because every time I've tried to, it was just insanely busy and I didn't have time. So the last night in Shanghai, we went to a craft brewery. We actually went to like a craft brewery place. It was actually really nice. Boxing Cat, which I guess is like a chain. You have to pay to enter there. The tower, yes. Unfortunately, I don't know what the prices were because Eric paid for everything. Eric is the CEO of BQ, who sponsored the trip for us. So I took a picture with the cat. It's Boxing Cat. I was slightly drunk here because craft beer is delicious. This is driving out of Shanghai. So EV, 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 EV. Let's see. EV, 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 EV. Pretty much every vehicle you see that's like a pass. These are all electric vehicles. Like in the city, like at least 2/3 to 3/4 of the vehicles are electric. And not just BYDs. I guess Volkswagen has a plant there. I think it's Zeekr. Plus, there's a bunch of domestic companies that only exist in China. Because I guess there's like a company, CATL, C-A-T-L. They make batteries in the drivetrain, and then so basically they make the drivetrain, and then other companies buy that and put it in their vehicles. So it's kind of like, you know how Western automotive companies, they make their own engines for the most part. Imagine if like one company made all the batteries and all the engines, and then other companies could just buy them and then make their own cars with them. So there's like several different, there's quite a few of completely domestic Chinese EV companies. Some of them are better than others. The Chinese taxis are built apparently pretty cheap because they're taxis. So this was the not Lego set I bought for the little guy of their. This was the little rover that I believe landed on the moon, or no, this one landed on Mars. I think this one was on Mars. Can't remember which one. Here's the little robot, the ribbit. It's like go go go. I used to get EV for 10K here in the UK. Now it's just fun. Well, the EVs there are dirt cheap. You'll see later they had one that was an Xpeng, I think it was called. It was Yapping. I can't remember how to pronounce it properly, but it's like 30 grand, and it's like, oh, it's got like, you know, 1,500 horsepower. It's like insane. That's an EV. All these mopeds are electric. I didn't see very few gas. I think I saw a couple motorcycles. Motorcycles are not common. You either have a moped or a car. Motorcycles were not common at all. So this was the last day in Shanghai. This was the Thursday. And how about bicycles? There were a lot of bicycles you could rent, but I did not see a lot of people riding bikes around. Pretty much, mopeds have taken over for bicycles, and people use them for everything. Housing. So this is like one of the few areas where there's actually houses, but they're not like what we like, the kind of housing we would consider. They're all like duplexes or triplexes or quadplexes. A lot of apartment buildings. So like, I mean, BYD and CATL are doing 100,000 volt. Yeah, they had a thing where they were like, yeah, you can charge up 400 kilometers of range in 5 minutes. And it's like, damn. So this is where we went. We went to this place, which was like an old style Chinese town. And right at the entrance, I found a McDonald's. Look at this little doggo that I found. Look at this little doggo. Look at this little doggo. Look at this little doggo. This was me trying to record a video and took a picture. This was a staircase. So this little village is 1,700 years old. It's the village is, obviously the buildings aren't that old, but the village itself is 1,700 years old. Lot of old buildings, lot of shops, bridges. I guess this is like not Venice-esque, where they had like this is like their equivalent to Venice. Not really, kind of, sort of, just a lot of river traffic. You'll see the boats later. We found a cat cafe. And there was a doggo there. But this was a cat cafe. There were a couple cat cafes, but this one had the most cats, so I took a video of it. Look at this cat. Look at this cat. Steve was very happy. Steve was in his happy place here. Look at all the cats. Look at all the cats. That was a white Maine Coon, I believe. There were axolotls in a bowl with more cats. This guy was here. I took a picture with him. This guy was here. Everyone was doing their own thing on their own time. So if you tried to take a picture of something and people were in front of it, they just they were doing their own thing. You kind of had to get used to it. There was different social standards. I'm not gonna knock it. I'm not gonna judge, but different social standards for what kind of behavior is acceptable. Everyone kind of just does their own thing and everyone kind of works around it. So when you're like walking around, you do your thing and other people do their thing, and social spacing's different, and yep, it just is what it is. Nice smelling tofu there, Pern. There were a lot of smells. Some of them were good, some of them were bad. One thing I learned is P-traps and plumbing are not common over there. Take that as you will. Hotels were fine though. Also, if you went to a lot of not areas popular with Westerners, sit down toilets are not a thing. So squat toilets it is. So this was like a lot of the roads in the, well, not road, but like the footpaths. This was a temple. I don't think we went in that temple. Old bridge. There was like shops. You'll see some videos, but like every one of these buildings has like a shop on the bottom floor, and then you live above it, kind of thing. I know they are sanity. It just, I've never used one, and I wasn't going to try. This lady was making glass figurine things. So yeah, this is what I mean by it was very Venice-esque, because you could rent these boats and they would take you around. Was it really that cold? No. Okay, I brought my sweater and I brought my coat. I brought my sweater and then I brought like a raincoat. I never used the raincoat once. I wore my like flannel shirt over a t-shirt pretty much every day there in Shanghai. And in Shenzhen, it was t-shirts and jeans, and Luke was rocking shorts and flippy floppies. I don't know if it's just that's what you're used to thing, a cultural thing or what, but pretty much the entire time we were there, everyone was wearing like jackets and sweaters, at least all the locals were, while I was like in t-shirts, at least in Shanghai, or in Shenzhen. It was hot. In Shenzhen especially was like 25 to 30 Celsius every day, and I was like t-shirts and jeans, and everyone's still wearing sweaters. It just is what it is. So yeah, these guys, everyone, like all the locals are wearing long sleeves and coats and whatnot, and like you'll see in a bit, I take my, like, I'm down to a t-shirt. This was a Buddhist temple. Trying to remember the thing with the demons or spirits or something, guardians. So yeah, so this is a Buddhist temple, an ancient Buddhist temple. Nothing out of the ordinary there. I did not see anything there. But yeah, it's just a lot of it. It's like you kind of like, oh yeah, that's right. This is where it's kind of from, and it's actually originally from here, and it's the normal way and the original way of using that shape that looks like the thing. Yeah. Canada hot weather. Yes. This was a good picture. This group of grannies really were into Steve. All these grannies had a thing for the silver fox. I can't remember what silver fox was in Chinese. But yeah, so we got a group shot with them all. Yeah, Roman shaped. Yeah, we'll go with Roman shaped. Do I have the delay on like a really, no, I have low latency mode. So yeah, so that was a good picture. But yeah, you could see like all the locals are in long sleeves and whatnot. It's like, yeah, Steve's in a t-shirt. Like I ended up taking off my flannel. it got hot. It got hot. These are all, you could rent the boats, go around. These stairs were not to standard. All the steps are different levels and everything's all worn down from being hundreds of years old. Also, railings. What are railings? What is OSHA compliance? Haha, those don't exist. Walking through the markets. A lot of wet markets. A lot of pork that was red and looked very saucy, and I'll be honest, looked very delicious, that I wasn't going to risk. So there's that. Looking more over that. So this was a really nice place. So this is like right on the outskirts of Shanghai. So for record, it takes about 45 minutes to get from downtown Shanghai to our hotel. And then it took another 45 minutes from our hotel to this place. And you were in Shanghai the whole time. So imagine downtown Shanghai to the other side of the city. Buddy just taking his little boat around. It's Year of the Snake right now. And then we saw this heckin' good boy. Or girl, I don't know. It was a good doggo. This was a heckin' good doggo. They got all the pets. And then we went to leave and it followed us and then it got more pets. This was a good doggo. This was a very good doggo. Lady taking photos. That was the temple that you saw up close from the other side, so you can see all of it. This is Papa John's. You can tell just looking at the logo, also the better pizza thing. So this is like, yep, this is me failing to do that. So this is literally like right outside the old village. So like this is right outside the old village. And then you turn around and there's that old village. It's in there. So it's like, as soon as you exit, you're like, boom, right back into modern Shanghai. Mercedes. Pretty much like the only non-EVs you saw were older gas cars or like high-end gas cars. BYDs. There was a BYD dealership in the mall attached to our hotel in Shenzhen, so I went in there and looked around. I don't think I took any videos, but they're nice. I got to sit in several EVs because they actually had like a thing set up at the Shenzhen market. They're nice. I'm not gonna lie, they seem pretty nice. The Chinese EVs, like they were nice. Apartment complex hell. Hope you remember which unit you live in. But I mean, like, Shanghai's a population of 25 million people. I mean, everyone has to live somewhere. And you can't do the North American thing where you just urban sprawl it out where everyone gets a house. It's like, nope, you just build up. You just build up. Better interior than a Tesla. As somebody who has built molds for Tesla, yes. Tesla interiors suck. And also, they don't just do a stupid center console only. They actually have, like, it's digital, like it's a screen, but they all have like a dash. I can't stand vehicles where the only console is a center console. I need to, like, if I'm driving, I want to see the numbers of like the speed and the car info that's relevant to me driving in front of me. I don't want to do that. I don't like it. I don't like it. I hate it. This is the train station. So going into the train station, we took the bullet train from Shanghai down to Shenzhen. It's about 7 hours. It tops out at 350 kilometers an hour. If I were to do this trip again, I would fly so we could spend more time. It would be nice because by the time we got into the Shenzhen, it was late at night. So we pretty much went right to bed. If I were to do this trip again, I would fly so we could spend more time in Shenzhen. But it was cool to take the bullet train for once. Also, You walk in, you go through the token security where they just kind of throw your bag through a thing. They don't even bother taking your phone out or anything. You just throw your bag in, they just x-ray it, and then you walk through and they wand you and you keep going. Token security. And physical buttons. Yeah, physical buttons. Like I like the EVs. But if all the US car makers, I mean, if BYD wants to set up a factory here, I'm all for it. I really don't care where the company is originally from. Doesn't bother me. There's getting on the bullet train. It's heading out on the bullet train. The only thing with the bullet train, no in-flight entertainment, essentially. So the only thing they had on the TVs was like rolling ads. And then, might be catching up on me finally. The CPs might be catching up on me finally. So there was that, and then this print done already? Wow, that was actually a quick print. It's been done for like 5 minutes already. No Wi-Fi. Most of the train travel was covered by cell, luckily, but there was no Wi-Fi. And then I just kind of played some video games on the Steam Deck. I will try and find you. This is leaving the city. It goes about 200 in the cities and then 350 in the country area. But you never leave the city. You kind of never leave the city. I think there's one clip here where it's like the most rural I saw and there were still like farms everywhere. So this is about 20 minutes out of Shanghai. Yeah, you know, welcome to the rice fields because they're everywhere. Just bullet train. I have so much footage of like 10-minute, like 5-minute clips of just looking out the window of the bullet train. And you're gonna see cranes everywhere. Just cranes everywhere. Construction everywhere. This train, Speed 306 kilometers an hour. Quiet and butter smooth. Like literally it was quiet and butter smooth. Only person in mainland China with a Steam Deck. Or you could get a Steam Deck in China. Can't you? You'll see later they were selling H100s. If you can get an H100 in China at the Shenzhen market, you can get a Steam Deck. Oh wait, Steam isn't in China, that's right. No, Steam's in China because yeah, Steam is in China. Because I know they really love PUBG over there. I'm pretty sure that's a nuclear power plant. We saw a couple of them from the train ride. So the train stopped in every major, like every capital city of every province on the trip. Oh yeah, the CPs are catching up now. More apartment complex hell. And then the tunnels, a lot of tunnels. It was like, I will say, it was hillier than I thought it would be. It was hillier than I thought it would be. I don't want to know how much these houses cost, like individual houses. So my understanding is outside, like if you own a house in China, this was kind of explained to me, kind of solace from afar. They are mass-produced concrete metropolises. With so many millions of people moving to cities, they just have to pump these things out. It is what it is. Shenzhen was better. I will say Shenzhen was nice because it's like a really new city. If you watch like how quickly Shenzhen built up, they planned it with a lot of green spaces. You'll see in some of the videos of me driving around Shenzhen, there's a lot of green in Shenzhen. Shenzhen is actually really nice. Condos aren't really a thing. It's apartment buildings. So my understanding is, I'll let some of these videos play while I yap. If you own property in China, it is actually extremely hard for the government to take it. Eminent domain is not really a thing here. So this is why you see the stories of like them building highways that go around a house, because they own that land from before like the communist takeover and whatnot. So it's like, if you actually own the land, you own the land, and the government can't really do anything unless you want to. But from my understanding, the newer city areas are owned by the government. So basically, like, you can't buy new land, but if you already owned land that was in your family, you own it. There's like, it's different in the cities and the country area, and I think it's different from provinces, but that's how it was kind of explained to me, which is why you see, like, you know, because people are like, oh, like somebody in my chat, all land is owned by the government. Well, if all land is owned by the government, then how come they couldn't tear down this one house to build a road? It's because certain land is actually owned by people because they've owned it. That land has been owned since before the new rules or whatever. But in the cities, pretty much everything is apartments. Everything new is apartments. Because the lease term is enough. There's something to it. There's something to it. But it was, I was told they own it. Like, there is certain, like, land that you own. Like, that was owned. And I think it's because it was, like, in families since before. But the thing is, a lot of people are, I don't know if I have any clips of it, like if I caught any of it on this video, on these videos. And these aren't trees. That's bamboo, by the way. Those aren't trees. That's just straight up bamboo. Can you own an apartment? No, you can, as a company, you can lease a plot of land to build an apartment on for like however 100 years or whatever, and then you rent out the apartments. Basically, nobody owns apartments. Like, you don't own an apartment. You rent an apartment. And a lot of people move to just be closer to their work, from my understanding, because it's just a lot easier to just walk to work, and on your hour-and-a-half lunch break that most people have, or 2-hour lunch break, you just go home for lunch. So moving around in the cities is pretty common. You just kind of live near your work, so you can just go right to work. But I'll talk about that when we get to McDonald's. Wasn't there a reality? Yeah, because people were basically buying up apartments, like renting, like purchasing apartments. It's not all one-to-one, it's hard. But basically, yeah, there was like, people were speculating on property because you can't really invest in like the stock market over there. So like, if you want money to appreciate in value, you kind of have to buy property or like invest in property to do it, because that's like the only thing. And like, line only go up, only it doesn't. But you'll see there's certain areas where there are just swaths of abandoned buildings, because people, especially in like farming areas, when they move to the city, everyone's moving to the cities. So who's gonna buy your house in the farms? Nobody does. And you just leave it. You just leave it. So where do you live and retire when you have no income? Family. Over there, you save. There's pensions, I believe. Housing is dirt cheap. I'll talk about it in a minute, but like, put it this way. You know how in like the United States and Canada, if you are single and you work a minimum wage job, there's like no place where you can actually afford a single bedroom apartment. You know how that's a thing? Like, I can pull up the chart to prove it, that if you work 40 hours a week on minimum wage, that is not enough to afford a single room apartment in pretty much every major city in Canada and the US. Yeah, in Shenzhen, working at McDonald's, a single bedroom apartment will cost you 1/4 of your monthly wage. And that's just a single person working at McDonald's makes 4 times what they need to afford an apartment. Housing is cheap. Housing is cheap. Food is cheap. This was my lunch on the train. It was a like a beef bowl, I think. This was like a little energy drink. Picture. Hey, look, a nuclear power plant. Yeah, like certain things are expensive. Like, for example, video cards, same price. Also done with the government. A lot of it's subsidized by the government in terms of like business. How was the food? The stuff I liked. I'm a very picky eater. There was stuff I could not eat. But the stuff I did eat, I liked. So this is the more, I guess this is as rural as it got, I'll be honest. This is as rural as it got during this trip. So you see all the welcome to the rice farms. And then you just see these little hamlets everywhere. And everything's concrete. Every building is concrete. But they would basically, like, when they put in a new road, they would just knock down the corner of the building they needed to knock down to put in the road, and that was it. And they would just leave the rest. Which train was it? This is a bullet train from Shanghai to Shenzhen. So we're going down south here. One good thing about the country, everything's on one time zone. So you don't have to worry. Expensive Winnie. Dude, I showed a picture earlier, James. I don't know if you missed it. Of a picture of the Disney store in downtown Shenzhen with Winnie the Pooh in the window. I think this was the fastest the train was going, 348 kilometers an hour. And again, it was butter smooth. Like, it was butter smooth. Taking a train in China at 350 kilometers an hour. Wait, where is it? Where is it? Yeah. So going 350 kilometers an hour on a train in China. And I was eating a yellow steamed bun. Life is good. There are some people in chat who are going to get that joke. Playing with my Steam Deck, playing some Ace Combat at night on the train. And then we got off the train. What is that in miles per hour? I don't know. You landed on the moon. You tell me. You like to brag about it all the time. I think it's like 200-ish. And this was an older train too. This was an older train. So this is, you get out of the train station and you just kind of walk outside. That's the advantage of the bullet train. You don't have to go through the whole dog and pony show security bullshit. You just walk in with all your luggage, you just throw it on the thing and off you go. Like it's like show up half hour before the train leaves just to make sure. And then 5 minutes after you're off the train, you're outside the terminal. This was our hotel in Shenzhen, which was really nice because it was like a 5-minute walk from Big Tree Tech's office. Yeah, it's in football fields. How many football fields per gallon of beer? This was looking out. Trains are easy. I'm trying to take a train's less than a 4-hour flight. Yeah, like, again, I spoke about it earlier. If we were to do this trip again, I would take the flight from Shanghai to Shenzhen so we could spend more time in Shenzhen. Because that first night in Shenzhen, we literally drove to our hotel, took a taxi to the hotel, checked in, went to bed. But I'm happy we took the bullet. We were all happy we took the bullet train because it's like, I've never been on a bullet train. I want to see what this is like. And now I'm like, holy shit. I'm waiting for them to build the high-speed rail corridor here in Canada from Toronto to Montreal, and then hopefully expand it to Quebec City and down here to Windsor. Because, yeah, I would fly though. Yeah, John, again, I would do it again. Like, if we were to do this trip again, I would fly, but it was nice to do the bullet train to say you did it. The monorail, well, I'm not going to Ogdenville, or North Haverbrook, so I don't think we're going to take the monorail. This was my hotel. I took a video of my hotel as a good travel blogger. It had the stupid thing where, like, if you're sharing if somebody else is in the room with you, they can watch you poop, if you're into that. I did eventually find how to close the curtain. It was a button. I thought you pulled it down. That's me trying to figure out how to close it. Also, vents aren't a thing. The vent, for those here who have ever done construction, North American style construction, you have a vent. So let me open up paint. So these are things that I found do not exist in China, or at least are very uncommon. So behold, the sink. Okay, so this is your sink. So in public washrooms, I found the water just kind of, here, it's easier to draw with a line. Draw a line. How do I make it thick? Hopefully that's thick. So it just kind of goes down, which means gases come up. Public bathrooms kind of had a smell. It is what it is. But in the hotels, they did have P-traps. So they did have a P-trap. If you don't know what a P-trap is, water sits in here. So that way it stops smells from coming back up. It's good, prevents explosions. They did have them. The problem is, and then the pipes did this. Who could tell me the problem here? Who could tell me the problem here? What is missing? Essentially, this fills up with water to a certain point and then it strains via suction. It was really freaky the first time in the hotel when I turned on the shower and my shower filled up. And I'm like, why isn't the water going down? And then all of a sudden it just goes and it gets sucked down. So normally in like housing, for example, if you look on the roof of your house, you actually have a pipe, usually over your bathroom and kitchen, because what you do is you have a Y junction here and the pipe goes up through the ceiling and it's just open. It goes up through your roof and it's just open. That way there's air. That way you don't get the vacuum effect. So that way when you turn on your tap, water just goes whoop and down. This doesn't exist. It's just not part of Chinese building code, I guess. So every sink that I came across, when you turn on the water, it would fill up to a certain point and then it would just start sucking up. So is what it is. You learn stuff. This was looking out of the hotel room at night. This was me figuring out how to close it. So, you know, I would have the room to myself. If I had a partner here, they wouldn't have to watch me poop. This was really cool. This was a instant, or correction, in the hotel room, this was a drip coffee thingamabobber. So it was like instant, instead of like crappy instant coffee, you could make your own drip coffee in the hotel room. What's the voltage in China? I believe it's 220. The plugs are normal 2-prong. So every plug has 2 different outlets in it. You have a 2-prong outlet with no ground, which I could just plug my charger into. And then you had a 3-prong that was tilted. It wasn't like, it wasn't European spec. It was like their own spec. So it's like 3-prong, and that was more higher draw. So that was things like chargers and like your hot water boiler thing. So yeah, this was really cool. Cause it's just a little pouch and it sits there, and the coffee was actually really good. Although I will say, I'm into tea right now. Having a nice clean tea, like a nice green tea, because you go anywhere and they offer you tea. And everyone has like their little tea set. When it's like lunch, you make tea, and it's just a nice little clean tea with like no sugar or milk in it, like us Westerners like. And it was like, ooh, that was really nice. I need to get ready for night shift. Take care, Martin. So yeah, this is looking out of the hotel room. So when I went for my walk at night, I wandered all the way up to like here, and then I came back, and then I went up side street, came back, and then I went down and went the other way. Yeah, I wandered around for a while. All the mopeds everywhere, because they're a lot cheaper. Apparently buying a moped there is like $100. So just taking the kid to school. Yeah, moped's like $100. And they're all electric. Another craft brewing thing. Did I get some iced tea? Domino's. I got the wife a teapot set, a tea set to buy. You buy them. I love that guy's hair. Electric vehicles everywhere. Walking. So you got to be very careful crossing the roads. But like here, watch this. So mute. Let me start this at the beginning. Okay, 1 second here. Pause. Turn that up.
A warm one today.
I mean, it's just like,
Well, yeah.
all green plates. All electric.
Yeah.
See how quiet it is? This is like morning rush hour. This is morning rush hour. There's like no noise. It's so eerily quiet. It's insane. I'm not playing audio on all the clips because a lot of them are us talking and then just me recording. So there was like conversations that were had that we were talking about stuff that businessy. So I don't want to accidentally leak anything. Yeah, all the cars, like the vast majority of cars in the cities are electric because you get an EV plate is free versus 5,000 for a gas plate. Apparently one of these buildings has Anycubic's headquarter in it. This is BQ. This is me taking a bunch of pictures, so I have something for a thumbnail. Look at me take pictures. Oh, one second. Let me just make sure I don't have any pictures here of... one second. Okay, good. I don't think I took any pictures. Good. Look at me. There was one area of BQ's office I couldn't film in. Well, I did film, but it's all blurry. Where they had like a bunch of DVDs all taken apart and a bunch of... So yeah, I can't talk about that. I can't show that. Look at the floor. The kerning. The kerning. The kerning. Be careful, electric. I just stepped out of a box. Oh, food. Okay. Like let me find a pause here. Yeah, a sausage and beef combo. So if you want McDonald's with sausages on your burger. But just to put in perspective, okay, so a double cheeseburger combo is 33 RMB. Divide that by 5. That's Canadian price. Divided by 7, that's American price. So a double cheeseburger combo with fries and a drink is $6 Canadian. In Canada, that's like $13. Breakfast is 10 RMB, so $2 breakfast. A $2 breakfast combo. And this is expensive food. Like, it's very common to eat out for your lunch at work, and even dinner, because it's like it's $5. It's sometimes less than $5. Yeah, like, and McDonald's is expensive. I mean, an apartment is like 1,200, or no, what was it? Like 1,200 RMB a month, roughly. Like a single bedroom apartment in like an okay area, I think it's like 1,200 RMB a month. And a McDonald's will pay 4,000 to 5,000 RMB a month for like working at a McDonald's, just like being an employee. The people, you know, you see the old ladies sweeping the street with their homemade broom for the city. They make 2,000 to 3,000 RMB a month. And again, a single bedroom apartment is like 1,200 RMB. It's cheaper if you just want like a bachelor pad. Driving around Shenzhen. Many companies provide dorms. It depends where they're at. In the cities, my understanding is not too common. It's usually they provide dorms in areas where like, so a lot of manufacturing isn't in the city. So for example, this big long drive I'm on right now is because we're going to Big Tree Tech's or BQ's where they make the PCBs, their PCB factory. It's outside of the city. Same with their CNC factory, because it just costs too much because of the land prices to actually have manufacturing done in the cities. They have offices and warehouses there because of shipping and whatnot. But in terms of actual manufacturing, a lot of that is done outside of the city because of they need the room and land prices are too much. So what you see is they have dorms because you basically have to move your workforce outside of an area where people normally live. So they have dorms there at the factories. But you would still have like your apartment in the city for weekends and holidays and whatnot. That's why they're dorms. They're not housing. But you can see like Shenzhen was actually like pretty nice. Like, yeah, the buildings are old and whatnot. And this is like a more manufacturing area, but there's green. Shanghai did not have a lot of green in the city. Like they had some green spaces, but you could tell they were like kind of forced green spaces that, you know, a little bit more upkeep, and were very Spartan, like a random patch of green. Whereas these, like this city had trees and shit. Oh, TIAC. Fun fact, BQ's PCB manufacturing line is in the same complex as TIAC. So if you want to know where your TIAC receivers and whatnot are made, what's this? It's right here. Oh, 1 second here. I just got an email. What is this? Okay, what does this mean? Okay, but man, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna go on a little tangent here. We're gonna go on a tangent. You guys haven't had a Nero rant in a while. Let's go on a tangent. I don't mind working with companies. Okay, I don't mind working with companies. Company wants to send me a printer or whatever. How do I phrase this as PC as possible? How do I phrase this? I don't mind working with companies, okay? Company wants to send me a printer to do a live stream with, whatever. I'm okay with that. Company wants to fly me out. I'm okay with that. But I am not your marketing. I fully understand you sending me a printer. I'm not referencing Sovol here. I'm just saying I fully understand you sending me a printer as marketing. I fully understand you flying me out for an event or sponsor me to do stuff is a marketing thing. But I didn't sign up to be a YouTuber to be your marketing. It's just part of the business I have to do. And it's just really weird when you get emails from companies that are like, hey, promote this thing for us. And I'm like, okay, why? Why do you want me to promote this thing for you? Like, okay, there's affiliate links, but I always have an affiliate link and I don't hawk my affiliate link. So why should I go out of my way to actively promote your product for an event? Sorry, I just got an email. I'm going to reread it after the stream just to make sure I'm reading it the right way, but it seems very, I don't know. Anyways, back to this. Yeah, I'm not your used car salesman. We already have enough used car salesmen in every hobby and in every content creating sphere. There's already enough used car salesmen. There's plenty in the 3D printing sphere. But I don't want to do that. I do this because I have fun doing this. Like, I fully understand part of this job is companies send me free shit and I show it off and whatnot and make videos. Obviously, I need to do something for content. I can't buy, I'm not the Project Farms guy. I don't have the budget to buy everything I show off. But it's just weird when a company sends you an email going, hey, we're doing a thing, promote it. Why should I promote it? What do I get out of it? Other than the affiliate thing. Like, it just, anyways. TIAC. I don't know if I should show that, but whatever, that's where it's at. This is the only Mao I found. And this was in an older area of the city. So like, I don't think he was still alive when they did this, but it was like during that period of China. So like 80s, I think this was there. So I found a Mao. This was the only Mao I found in the entire trip. Yeah, that was the only one. Other than one guy selling at like in that village we went to in Shanghai there, he had like a bunch of like old propaganda posters and one, although I'm pretty sure they're just recent prints. He had some Mao stuff, but that was like the only legit, like in a factory or like in public, like not being sold as a product. The only time I saw a Mao propaganda poster was that one time. You could tell this is outside of Shenzhen proper because there are blue plates. That's how you can tell you're outside of Shenzhen proper, when you see blue plates. The moment you cross into the city, green plates everywhere. Oh, that's a drone. I don't know what it was doing, but there were several of them flying a path. I don't know if they were doing deliveries or if they were testing something or what. But this was a giant quadcopter just flying. Yeah, green. If you see a green plate in China, it's an EV. This is just an apartment block I took a picture of because I'm like, oh, look, it's an apartment block. Everyone has a, if you look, everyone has a heat pump style thing. This is the Big Tree Tech warehouse. Look at all this stuff. Did I see? I saw helicopters. There were actually, I saw quite a few helicopters in Shenzhen. Deliver goods? I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it, because sometimes I could see like having to move stuff like within a critical time period, and doing it on ground would be not viable. Monitor. Honestly, Luke, there's enough cameras on the street level. I don't think they would need quadcopters. Also, they were multiple of them and they were flying the exact same path, so I'm assuming it was delivery of some sort. But yeah, you go to the back of like a pharmacy, a normal like pharmacy, and yeah, this is like the Chinese herbal remedy area. This was Richard Tech took us out for dinner again. That was some beer we had. It was good. This was, we went out for whatchamacallit, teriyaki. Or no, not teriyaki. Was it teriyaki? That's Rich again. That was chicken, and I had duck, and it was good. That's me recording a video. The grannies! The grannies! The Chinese grannies, the old lady grannies, the dancing dancing grannies. That's what it is, the dancing grannies. So yeah, they all come out at night in the square areas, like the town square areas that are all over the cities. And then they get into their groups, and they all are listening to different music. And then they dance. Yeah. And then some people singing. But yeah, it was Luke being a good man and donating. You're a good man, Luke. But yeah, walking around. So this is us going back to our hotel. So this is like 7 o'clock at night. Just wandering. Break dancing. Just some kids having fun. And yeah, so this is me just wandering around at night by myself. I just wandered. Just wandered around at night by myself through all the. Okay, this was a little different. In Southeast Asia, in China, I guess, and a few other countries, there are quite a few Russian expats. I didn't see a lot of other Westerners. I saw some at the show, TCT Asia, but down in Shenzhen, the majority of lighter complexion folks I saw were Russian. A lot of them got out. They either they didn't support the government doing what they're doing in Ukraine, or they were avoiding the draft or whatever. So there were several of these like themed Russian stores, I guess, catering to the Russian expats in Shenzhen. There were a couple of them. So yeah, that was the thing. And then these guys are breakdown. This dude is jacked. This dude was jacked. This is me trying to record a video and taking a picture. This is me recording the video where this will probably make it into the video where it's just like me talking like, yeah, I've been wandering around by myself in downtown Shenzhen for 2 hours by myself. It's fine. It's a whale. Plenty of tall people. Yeah, like there are a bunch of tall people, but there's also a lot of short people. So yeah, it's just wandering around. It's just quiet. It is so weird. All you hear is just tires, because cars still make noise when they're electric. But you just hear tires and you hear people walking around and horns. This was apparently it is a thing in China. You get birthday breakfast ramen. So I'm sitting down to eat at breakfast. I had nearly finished my breakfast. And then the hotel staff, they're like, hey, we heard it's your birthday, because Saturday was my birthday. So I had my birthday in China, which was kind of cool. And they're like, hey, it's your birthday. Here's a breakfast traditional birthday ramen bowl. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. That's from my wifey. This was the subway. So in China, I didn't use cash once. I didn't use my credit card once. You use Alipay or WeChat Pay for everything. It is one app. I guess locals would link their bank account to it. I linked a credit card to it. And you literally just when you buy something, a lot of vendors just have a QR code. You scan the QR code, you type in how much money you want to pay them. So if it's like a smaller vendor, or even like somebody begging on the street, they have a QR code they scan because it's their Alipay or WeChat account. So you scan it, you type in how much you want to pay, and you hit send, and then they get a notification, oh, so-and-so paid you, and then you take your product to go. Or if they have a point of sale terminal, you just scan a QR code, and it'll just automatically charge you whatever the thing. It's like tap. You can do it with NFC, but I just had it set up for the QR code. And there's also like how to pay for, this is how you pay for your subway and everything. Everything is on Alipay. A lot of this I might skip through because a lot of this is the Shenzhen market stuff. The taking the subway from our hotel to the Shenzhen market, which was about 15-20 minutes, including one change from one train to another, was $1. Banking requires a QR code. Eurusco, nobody has cash. Everything is digital there. And you just print off your QR code. So like if I wanted to set up a little shop on the street, what I would do is you could have like, it's also if you want to send money to somebody, you just, on your app, you just pull up the QR code and they scan the QR code and they just send you money. So if you're a beggar, what you would do is if you had a shop, like when I bought the LED strips, I just scan their QR code, which you can do it on the phone, or you can just print off the QR code and just put it on your booth. You just scan the QR code, type in how much, boom, sends it. It is stupidly easy. And it's like, holy shit, this is so nice, because it's just, boop, done. Oh, you covered lunch for me? Okay, here you go, $5. Like, and there's no like extra fees. It's not like in Canada, we have e-transfer. So we can transfer money between bank accounts for free. But in the US, you guys got to do like Venmo and PayPal, and there's like, they skim a little off the top, whereas this doesn't. You just send money without it being skimmed off the top. This is the subway station. This is one of the subway stations. It was all cash. Yeah, I didn't use cash once. I didn't use my credit card once. And cat girls are real in China. For the weebs in chat, cat girls do exist, and they are in Shenzhen, China. So. Luke, I hate crypto. I detest crypto. This is just walking out of the subway market. And behold, the shopping area. Mopeds. So when you park your moped on the street, obviously it has a key, so you don't have to like lock it up. You just take the key with you. And then they have chargers everywhere, so you just plug it into a charger. Have you seen any new offers in my email for what? I'll be honest, I got like a week of email I got to go through. So if you sent me something, DM me and I'll double check. But I know my spam folder is full. But yeah, everywhere where like a lot of people park their mopeds, there's like little chargers, and it's dirt cheap to charge. You just plug it in and charge them. It's that one place where everyone takes a picture of for their thumbnail of their, because they're a tech channel and they went to the Shenzhen market and they took a picture in front of this thing because that's what everyone does. Super original. And guess what? I did too. Again, I'm gonna probably skip most of these videos because this will be its own video. But there are multiple floors to this building and there are multiple buildings. It's insane, although apparently it used to be better. I was told by several locals that it used to be better, the Shenzhen electronic market. It's kind of, I won't say a ghost of its former self, but it's a lot different than what it used to be. It's a lot more consumer focused now, where it's like, oh, there's DJI shit everywhere. You could still go in and buy like a whole sleeve of resistors, but it's kind of like, think of it like a mixture of a Radio Shack and a Micro Center and a like that local computer store that still has Pentium 2s in stock, and like it's all mashed together. But lately it's a lot more just like a Micro Center. So yeah, like DJI stuff everywhere, drone shit everywhere, just drone shit everywhere, random pictures, those little spinning things that never show up on camera for the holograms. LEDs, do you want LEDs? Well, I hope you like LEDs. Oh no, this floor was the bottom floor. Some of the floors are just B2B, so business to business. Oh, graphics cards. Do you want graphics cards? Do you want graphics cards? A lot of people building computers. So from my understanding, when you go on AliExpress and you buy stuff, like especially electronic stuff, the stores are here. When you buy something off an AliExpress store, like electronics, they're actually here, or a lot of them are here, and they are packaging up your order to ship to you. So we saw people packing up AliExpress orders because like you would have your booth, and yeah, you would have foot sales, but also you would do a lot of electronic sales. So yeah, a lot of these boxes are empty, by the way, for the video cards, especially the video cards. A lot of them are empty because a lot of these booths build computers too. So you would basically, they'd have like their store on AliExpress. So they would buy a bunch of computer stuff, build computers, and then put the computers for sale on AliExpress and then ship them. Is it cheaper to pick it up? So here's what I kind of learned. For modern Western styled electronics, so video cards, CPUs, RAM, hard drives, SSDs, etc., the cost is actually roughly within MSRP, unless they give you a fuck off price, which Doc was shopping for a video card, trying to find like a 4090 or a 5080. He got fuck off price because the inventory is very low. But for like stuff like 3060s, 4060s, I found a 9070 XT, one of the Westin waifu 9070 XTs, within 50 bucks of MSRP. The difference is it's in stock. So unless it's something that's like really hard to get, yeah, and they give you the fuck off price because they're like 3,000 for like a 4090. The like 5080 was like was actually like $50 cheaper than Western MSRP. The problem is, you buy it there, but then you got to bring it back into country, and then you got to pay taxes and duties on it, which kind of makes it not worth it. But I did buy some LEDs, and I think you'll see them in a bit. But yeah, it was just like, you want LEDs? You want LEDs? There's a whole floor of nothing but LEDs. And it's 50 hertz, so my camera was freaking out the whole time. There go a bunch of AliExpress and Amazon orders. If you need a power supply, by the way, there's power supplies and LEDs. More orders. So I bought 2 of these. I'm gonna use them in the studio somewhere. But I bought these. These ran me. These are 5-meter long strips of 12-volt LEDs, RGB addressable LEDs, and they were $30. $30, including the controller and everything. $30. So looking around. I was using my phone. I was using an older phone for this trip, and I probably did, but I didn't realize it until I looked at all the camera footage after the trip. So that was like the one building, and then there's me taking that picture that everyone takes in front of the thing. And then this was our lunch. We had ramen bowls for lunch, which was really good. And they were, but yeah. So for example, lunch is like 22 RMB. Like you can get lunch for like 20, 30 RMB, which again, divided by 5. So that's like $5 for lunch, not even. They had a bunch of cars. Like they had like not a car show, but they had like a bunch of companies showing off their EVs at the thing. No, we didn't get to LDO. We didn't have time, unfortunately. We tried to, we just didn't have time. So this isn't like me talking about one of the EVs, but it's like, yeah, this is like a $40,000 car, like 40,000 Canadian. These are the Zeekers, which are, I believe they are built by, this is Volkswagen, but yeah, 329,000 RMB is like 60,000 Canadian. That's like, these are 800-volt cars too. Like these are, yeah. So 60,000 Canadian for a fully decked out one. The massaging car seats. Yes, one of the DDs. We all got in, and then he pushed a button, and like I got seat massages while I was I got my back massaged. So this one right here, that Steve was in, 30,000 Canadian for it. Yeah, I know, Reverend. Believe me, I know. We tried. It just, we didn't have time. We just didn't have time in our schedule. We only had 2 full days in Shenzhen. And really only 1 day in like, for that. But yeah, this is a $30,000 car. I think it was an Xpeng. I can't remember how to pronounce it. Panel fit? I mean, it's better than a Tesla. I mean, a blind man can do better panel fit than a Tesla. He was like, why are you recording me? And then there was a bunch of side like stores that just had a bunch of random stuff. Would be this crash safety on the thing. Are they even tested? They are. They're actually not bad from my understanding. Like I spoke to several of the locals about the EVs, and everyone's like, they're like every other car. Like they're like every other car. It's just, you see, like I've seen some people like, oh, don't they catch fire? It's like no more than any other car. And they have an absolute crap ton of them. Like put it this way, Tesla last year was like, oh, $10 billion in profit or revenue or whatever. BYD is 100 million or 100 billion. So it's just economies of scale and volume. Phone cases. Do you need phone cases? Well, guess what? There's an entire building here that is nothing but phone cases. Not a shop, not a floor, a multi-floor building that is nothing but phone cases. Also, a lot of high-powered fans that Steve had fun with. My iced capu from Starbucks. Do you want, this is the 10-story building we went in. Take care, John. Do you need capacitors? Do you need oh wow, okay, the steepiness is catching up finally. Yeah, I'm probably gonna crash after this. After this, we're gonna finish this up. I'm gonna talk about Bambu for a bit, and then yeah. Yeah. Do you need like SD card connectors? Do you need LEDs? Do you need an STM32 chip? Like, do you need giant LEDs? Do you like it's insane. And I probably should have recorded a lot of this at 60 FPS, but whatever, too late. Hey, I'm using a phone I don't normally use. It's just insane. Fans? Fans? You need a fan? Do you need Arduinos? Arduinos, they got Raspberry Pi. I think I saw a Raspberry Pi. Do you need, I think that was a step stick. Oh, there's some sensors. Oh, there's some Raspberry Pis. A heat sink, a motor, Raspberry Pi. These things are hardcore illegal here, but if you need Wi-Fi jammers, cell phone jammers, or drone jammers, there are stores that sell them there. Including one store that had a bunch of Russian shit that I'm pretty sure was, how do I phrase this? Used. This, I gotta figure out what this is. Because a couple stores tried selling me this. And I wasn't gonna pay their exorbitant price for an ESP32. They wanted $120 for this. I was like, or correction, it was 120 RMB. So it was like 30 bucks. So actually it probably wasn't that bad. But apparently this is an AI. Like you talk to it and it talks back. Now, I'm pretty sure it's running an extremely stripped down LLM that basically just replies to hello and like the extremely basic stuff. But apparently this is running an AI. So I gotta look into it because it does look like a fun little project. Because it was like a whole kit with a bunch of PCBs and whatnot. But I gotta look it up because it's an ESP32. It talks. You talk to it. But yeah. Could I have Cell Source of War on there? Probably not. I'll be honest. They're oh my god, I'm sleepy. Oh my god. There was actually, we only saw one 3D printer. In all of the Shenzhen tech market, we found some old Radeon cards, an RX 550. There's the Yestin waifu Sakura card, and they had it in stock. It was $50 over MSRP, and I was like, I want it. But getting it back home would have cost me another $200 in taxes and duties. So I was like, no. Plus, I don't have the budget. But yeah, we only saw one 3D printer in the entire thing, and it was in a cabinet. I think I actually have a video of it. It was in a cabinet, and it was extremely dusty. So 3D printing was not a thing here. It was actually like very, like, we didn't see any rails. We didn't see any bearings. We only saw a couple stepper motors. Yeah, this was the only 3D printer we saw in the entire electronics market, other than a Bambu that somebody was using to print stuff to sell. You have to be very careful though, because sometimes your Logitech mouse is actually a logistics mouse. So you do have to be careful. A lot of stuff was obviously not legit. But yeah, this building had 10 floors of shit. And it does get, oh wow. Did a girl just get thrown to the floor? What? Did I miss something? Which clip? This clip? Maybe somebody got thrown to the floor. You saw it where? Where? Which clip was it? At the start? Oh! Oh, they're just kids playing. They're just kids playing. A lot of kids. This was a Saturday, and there were a lot of kids. Yeah, there was another one there. A lot of kids just hanging out at their parents' work. Just kids playing. But yeah, there was a lot of kids. A lot of kids just hanging out, doing homework or playing. A little recap. I'm getting thoughts. So yeah, this is a NVIDIA, whatever people want to call it. Some NVIDIA graphics cards, including HGX H100s and H100s for cheaper than MSRP here. The H100 was, I believe, MSRP in Canada is around 30,000. At least when I looked them up, they're about 30,000 Canadian. Here in China, this one here was listed as 27,000 Canadian for an H100. And then they have an A100 as well. I'm pretty sure they're not supposed to have H100s. But yeah, this was a flying quad. This was a model. It didn't have real motors. This had real motors in it, so I'm pretty sure this one would have flown. So yeah, so H100 PCI Express, 80 gigabyte, 138,000 RMB. The A100 was 10,800 or 108,000 RMB for the A100, which I think is the neutered export version of the H100. They had a Tesla card. I don't know which one was this. It's a Tesla. And then they had this guy, which is the HGX H100 8 GPU times 80 gigabytes. And this was 2,030,000 RMB, which was a lot. I don't think I'd smuggle this back in my luggage. Programmer X. $2 social credit score plus 10. Should be getting more points than that. The gold V100 is 32 gigs. Oh, nice. This is the map of the Shenzhen metro. So this was pretty cool. This was the sunset. Yeah, they did have, Joel, I noticed in the stores, they had 4090s, but they also had 4090Ds. And my understanding is the 4090D is a 4090 that is purposely gimped on AI stuff. So it apparently just is fine for gaming, not that big of a hit, but when it comes to being able to do AI stuff, it's... Were there repair shops? Yes. There were actually quite a few. This was a sunset. It was pretty nice. A lot of people were stopping to take pictures. This camera sucked at the pictures, though. This was a park. It's like, oh yeah, this is a communist country. Kind of, sort of, not really. People taking pictures and video. Again, stupidly quiet. It is stupidly quiet at night in the cities. Oh yeah, BQ figured out it was my birthday, which also happened to be the last day we were in town. Last proper day we were in town because we flew out the next morning. So they at where we got taken out for dinner, they had it all. I got flowers, which I'm like, what am I gonna do with the flowers? So I gave them to Rich. Like, give these to your girlfriend. So this was Japanese, whatever it's called, where they cook the food for you in front of you. Really good. These were alive and moving. Cooking garlic, smelled really good. This stupid vent here was insanely strong, so it sucked up all the smells. So whenever he was cooking something, hibachi, okay, that's what it is. So whenever he was cooking something in front of it, you couldn't smell it. But the moment it was put to the side, you could smell it because this vent just sucked up all the smell. This was cod, I believe. Yeah, it was cod. And it was so good. It was so damn good. These were still moving while they were cooking. And I was like, okay. I'm probably not gonna eat them because I thought they'd be a little fresher when they were finally cooked. But by the time they were all cut up and cooked and everything, they were actually cooked. So I did eat some of it, and fire. But yeah, so I did eat those. Personally, I wouldn't go out of my way to eat them because it's not the kind of thing I normally eat. Rich's kid. I'm gonna skip these videos. 1 second here, because we went out to a club at the very end of the trip, and we had a good time, and drinks were had, and in the morning, you'll see the more pictures from that, because I only had some pictures on my phone from the dinner, and some people sent me pictures after. Those were Eric's kids, cute kids. So this is going back to our to the airport. So this is more like, I guess you would say, residential. I guess you would say residential. This is like just where people live, but like shops everywhere. Everything has shops on the ground floor. Where are the people? At work. This is at like, I want to say like 9 in the morning. So either a lot of people apparently like don't start work till like after 9 or before 9. So there's like a period where it's not too bad. Yeah, near or really after dark. Yeah. I mean, it was just a nightclub. Like, it was just a fancy nightclub. It's just, yeah. This was the Shenzhen airport. It was huge. Absolutely huge. And these things are the air conditioning, so those things are blowing cool air. But yeah, like everyone is in sweaters and long sleeves shirts and like coats. And it's like, I'm in a t-shirt. Luke is in shorts and a t-shirt. It was like, yeah. Shenzhen Airlines. We flew Korea. This is the lounge at the VIP lounge in the Korean airport. Doc got me in, so I was like, okay. This is Seoul Incheon Airport. The Delta flight. What was the actual temp? It was close to 30 Celsius actually in Shenzhen on the last day we were there. Delta flight from Incheon to MSP, and then MSP to Detroit. And this is looking out my window, landing in Detroit. It was crappy out. And then, yeah. So this is, for those that don't know, that's Rich, who works for Big Tech. I don't know exactly what he actually does, like what his proper job title is, but he was like our chaperone basically for the whole trip, to make sure the dumb foreign guys who don't speak Chinese do anything stupid. Doc, me, Eric, the CEO of BQ, Luke, and his wifey B, and Steve. And then this was after dinner, and in case you can't tell, the beer was good. And then this was the hot pot with Big Tree Tech and E3D. And I think that's it. That's it. So yeah, that was China trip. Any questions? Did you take notes? The exam will be in a couple minutes. I'll give you a couple minutes here before we do the exam. Okay, let me pull up the stuff for the next thing. It was a really good time. I'll be honest, it was like better. Like there were a lot of preconceptions I had going in. It's like, it's China. You hear everything about China, but you hear like outside looking in perspective on a lot of it, not outside or inside looking out. So you hear, obviously, like you hear the, oh, they're gonna copy your phone the moment you land. They're gonna put viruses on your computer to track everything. You're gonna have somebody watching you everywhere you go. And it's like, well, yeah, there's cameras everywhere. Everyone is watched everywhere they go. But it's not like they're watching you. They're just watching everything. There's a difference. It was not what I expected, but in the good way. Teardown now. I'm honestly don't think we're gonna get to it. How's the supports come off the little peak? We might do the Sovol teardown on the Saturday night stream, I think. Because Friday we're probably gonna do the Pro Forge. Behold, piggy, orange piggy. So I think there is a bit of Z wobble in this. I gotta take a look. I don't know if I gotta do like a Z negative China to get the beds. Okay, so to get the lead screws trammed, because there is quite a bit of, I believe there is quite a bit of skew. Actually, I could probably, let's take a look here. Console, webcam, viewer. No, they don't have the bed tram set up yet. No, there is no bed tram. Yeah, no, there is no, I can't see the bed mesh. So let's talk about the Bambu. So was there any questions there? Get demonetized. Honestly, there's nothing from the club. Like the club is just a nightclub. We had drinks. They played music so loud my ears were ringing, and it was just a nightclub. I don't want to show footage of it because it's just a nightclub, and there were a lot of other people having fun at a nightclub. So I don't want to bother. Plus, you really couldn't see anything. Steve looked happy. Steve had a good time. Everyone had a good time. We didn't have a champagne room. It was just a booth. Women outnumber men in Shanghai. I didn't really see that. Maybe, I don't know. Trimming to end of travel won't work with the belt link. Yeah, but you could still make it skip to fix it. Luke say the Voron guys are getting a VVD to bring home. No. Okay. Here's some of the electronics in it, in the Bambu. I mean, a lot of wiring. Bambu does all, okay. I'm just gonna say something right here. Every time I go to these big shows, I hear, you talk to a lot of different companies. And it's kind of like you hear a rumor, and then you hear another rumor, and then you hear another rumor from another source, and you hear another rumor from another source, but they all kind of say the same thing. And you're just like, after a while, the rumors start making a bit more sense. So I'm not going to go into what I heard, but let's just say certain beliefs around a certain company start making a lot more sense the more you hear. So it's kind of like validation. So I'm not really going to go into it because it's not I'm not going to, but it makes a bit more sense. So anyways, Sovol, not Sovol, Bambu HD2. Are you ready for my opinions? Ready to be shocked? I think the printer's fine. Are you ready? Like, be prepared to be blown away. I think the Bambu HD2 is probably a fine printer. It's pricey. I mean, if build volume is the only thing you care of, you get a Sovolier SV08 for much cheaper. If you want to do multicolor and have a large print volume, Creality K2, cheaper with the AMS. Because if I'm not mistaken, the Bambu, let me pull it up here. Bambu. Store. Let me put it in USA money, because most people here work in that. So the machine by itself is $1,900. With a single AMS unit, it's $2,200. Personally, I think the machine is fine. I think it's kind of pricey, but I think the machine is fine. I don't think it's really stupid. This. Because this. And this. Machines that eat where they shit are dumb. The laser module in a 3D printer is the stupidest thing you can do, because this is according to them 40 hours of lasering with the 10 watt module. This is 10 hours of lasering with the 10 watt module, let alone the 40 watt. I've worked on computers that were owned by chain smokers that were less dirty than this. And then it's like, okay, by the way, fire hazard, the machine has a built-in fire suppression system option. And it's built out of fire resistant materials. But like, look at this. This is the recommended consequences of not performing maintenance. This is what they recommend you do to clean your printer after using the laser attachment. Are you ready? Look over here. See the little bar? Let me move me to a more advantageous position up here. Over here. We'll go over here. We'll hide out over here for now. Okay. See how little this is and how high up we are? This is what you need to do to clean your printer after using the laser. Look at all this. You need to clean flipping everything on here because you have just burned material inside your printer and it floats everywhere. Make sure you clean all your rails, re-grease all your rails, clean all your sensors, wipe down all your belts, clean off the cameras. What else you got? You got to make sure all the cameras are clean. You got to take out the components. You got to clean everything. Make sure you clean your belts. Make sure you clean your rods. Make sure you clean your pulleys. Make sure you clean everything. Oh, make sure you take your motors off, or you're clean behind the current air fan. Clean all the windows. Clean all the rails. Oh, by the way, all your grease is now filled with smoke dust. Oh yeah, and then also move it all the way up and take the filter out, and then take your filter and look at all the gunk that comes out of your filter and clean that in the sink, and then put that all back together, and then make sure it's all dry, and then put that all back together. Oh, take the back filter off, clean it all with the brush, take it to your sink, clean it all out, and then congratulations until the next time you use the laser. Because either you do this after every time you use the laser, or you print for a while, you use the laser, you get all that wonderful particulates into the printer, and either you clean it or you start printing, which means all that shit's gonna work into the grease, it's gonna work into the bearings, it's gonna work into the belts, it's gonna work into the electronics. It's the stupidest thing you can do. Putting a laser in a 3D printer is just dumb, because guess what? Guess what? Guess what? $2200. Okay, we're not doing this fancy 99 bullshit. Well, $2,200. So adding the laser is $600 for the 10 watt. If you want the 40 watt laser, it's another $700. Okay, this doesn't include a filter, by the way. This doesn't include a filter. You have to buy a filter or vent it outside if you want to do lasering. Go buy a laser. Like, if you want to do laser shenanigans, okay, and you want a turnkey laser, go buy an X tool. With their shitty site. Go buy an X tool. Okay? Okay, don't get a CO2. I'm pretty sure they have like an engraver for cheaper. I think X tool, there's a cheap X tool. They have cheaper X tools. Or a Creality laser or something. Like, you can buy a Sovol SV08. You can buy a box turtle kit. You can buy a diode laser, and you can buy a Cricut, or you could buy alternative versions of all of those. You can buy a Creality K2 with the CFS. You can buy another brand of diode laser. There's a billion of them. And you can buy something other than a Cricut that's a vinyl cutter. And it'll still be cheaper than the all-in-one machine. That can only do one at a time, by the way. Oh, and if you want to do the laser cut, or if you want to do the cutting, if you want to do the cutting, you just want to do, I just want to do 3D printing, and I want to do the vinyl cutting, because I don't want to, something that'll damage my machine, because using a laser in your machine is going to damage it. Unless you do a thorough deep clean after every time you cut, all that shit's going to get into your motion system. And guess what? While it's lasering, it's getting into your motion system. Okay? So yeah, there's that. But guess what? I want to keep my machine clean. I just want to do the vinyl cutting, and I just want to do the 3D printing. Okay, that makes sense. Too bad you can't use the vinyl cutter unless you buy the laser, because it attaches to the laser. The vinyl cutter only attaches to the laser. So you have to buy the laser attachment to get the vinyl cutter attachment. And I'm just going to say this once. Somebody's not going to read the rules, and they're going to try laser engraving vinyl. That releases chlorine gas. Okay, somebody's going to try lasering PVC. Because now you're selling a machine that just works. To people who don't know what warping off a bed is, go check the subreddit. Half the Bambu subreddit is people not understanding what warping is or what a filament jam is. And now you've given them a laser and you told them go laser shit. Somebody's going to laser PVC or something else with that's going to release chlorine gas. Okay, they're going to override safeties, cause a fire because people are dumb. It is what it is. And by the way, chlorine gas, not only does it, do wonderful stuff to human lungs, it corrodes steel. So I feel sorry for Bambu support for anyone who bought the laser module. The laser module is a waste of money. It's a waste of money. Buy a standalone laser if you want to do laser, a proper laser if you want to do laser, and vent it outside properly or get a proper fume extractor. There's a reason I don't use my laser, because I don't have a proper extraction system for it, because I don't like setting fires in my garage. Also the volume, it's not that big. Like, okay, I'm gonna grab a Prusa XL sheet, which is bigger, but like, this is a Prusa XL, this is 360. You only have like, I think it's like this much. So like, this is unusable because the laser attaches on top of the tool head. And the problem is you can't put big sheets in because you are in a 3D printer. So you can't have it like overhang like you can on a lot of other lasers. So you're gonna be limited to a lot of the materials that you can actually use. It's going to be a safety issue. It's going to shorten the life of your machine by causing all that crap to get into the motion system and the environment of the printer. Also, I'll be honest, I'm disappointed. Nothing they are doing on this machine is new. What are they doing new? What have they done? Like, they were really hyping this up. Like Dr. CHOW did an interview. It's like, this is a game changer. Like they were saying some really hot shit. Joel said it well. Let me pull up Joel here. Joel, I'm going to use you. Forgive me, Joel. I'm using your words. Pull it up here.
Some people were expecting the second coming, essentially, with this machine. Dr. CHOW himself, when I interviewed him, talked about these technologies that we hadn't seen in 3D printers yet. And when the H2D came to my doorstep and I opened it up, I was like, oh, look, an POLYMAKER 3. Some people were expecting the second coming.
There's nothing really new. They've done some things that other people have done before in a slightly different way, but there's nothing like game-changing on this machine. Dual nozzles where they can switch an index have been done before. Putting a laser in a 3D printer has been done before. Putting a vinyl cutter has been done before. I mean, Prusa has an attachment for the XL. You can put a pen on it. You can put a vinyl cutter on it. People have turned Vorons into vinyl cutters. People have fucking Max put a freaking Dremel on his Voron to plane his bed before. Like, nothing on this machine is new. It's just stuff that, yeah, Snapmaker is a 3-in-1. They at least have a CNC. If they come out with a tap head. Now, if Bambu comes out with a tap head, I'll be really impressed. Okay? But there's really nothing new. Also, they have their little thing. Oh, it's like, yeah, you can use the MQTT or whatever. It's like, cool. The second tool head only works with Bambu Studio. From my understanding, going off leaked information, because I did watch a couple reviews this morning, and I didn't see anyone confirm. From my understanding, the second nozzle is only usable through Bambu Studio. So if you want to use Orca Slicer or a third-party slicer that you like because of whatever reason, because third-party is awesome because anyone can add shit to it, you are limited to the one nozzle. The second nozzle is only addressable, from my understanding. Please, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm speaking based off leaked information, what I could find on the website, and watching some reviews. The second nozzle is only accessible via Bambu Studio, which is probably the reason, tinfoil hat, they cannot use two different nozzle sizes. Currently, right now, on a Prusa XL, I can have a 1 millimeter nozzle and a 0.2 millimeter nozzle, and I could use a 0.2 for the outer walls and the 1 millimeter for infill. I could do that on Prusa Slicer. I can do that in Bambu Studio as well, as far as I'm aware. Or correction, Orca Slicer and Prusa Slicer. Bambu Studio cannot with their new machine. Okay, you could only use the same nozzle size. Tinfoil hat, it's because they don't want you to do that. They have to figure out an implementation of doing that is developed in-house, because if they were to use the implementation that, again, Bambu Studio is based on Prusa Slicer. Prusa Slicer could do multiple nozzle sizes on the same print. So if Bambu Studio is based on Prusa Slicer, why don't they just use the already existing implementation to allow them to use two different nozzles? Oh wait, they can't do that because then they have to release how you can access the second nozzle. So they need to do it another way so they can keep control on it. Because again, if you use Mac or if you use Linux, you are SOL on the HD2. Your only option is Bambu Studio, or correction, Bambu Studio doesn't work on Linux, and does it work on Mac? I don't know. But yeah, so you're kind of like limited for like certain users are just SOL. If you use Linux, for example, you're SOL. Oh yeah, and laser, no light burn. Good luck. It'd be really nice if light burn made a thing, but you know that shit ain't happening. Studio, okay, it does work on Mac. Okay, so it does work on Mac. Okay, but they also have, because they have the new software. They have new software. Where is their software? Bambu Suite for laser engraving. Okay, it does work on Mac. Okay, so if you're Linux, you're SOL. Sorry, if you're Linux, you're SOL. So yeah, it does work on Mac. Okay, so yeah, another software that you have to use. You have to use their suite for the laser cutter. For those that wanted a bigger Bambu, the base model of the machine, even with the AMSs, disappointed on the sizing. It only works with 1 kilogram spools. Again, kind of disappointed. It would be nice if they had the ability to like take out the divider so you could use bigger spools or something. But no, they make most of the money off selling filament anyways. So that explains why they want you buying their filament. And that works in their machine. So I'm kind of disappointed on the compatibility aspect. But for those that just wanted a bigger Bambu, the base machine, while pricey, is fine. I got nothing against the base machine as a 3D printer. If you're okay with how Bambu operates with their ecosystem and whatever, people buy Macs. I don't judge people for buying a Mac. I think, paying $200 for 256 gigs of storage is stupid and literally ripping off your customer base. People do it. It is what it is. I really think the laser attachment is just stupid. I think it's stupid and wasteful. Buy a laser. Don't damage your machine. there are going to be people calling customer support going, my machine doesn't work. It's people like the X1 already prints ovals if you don't clean the carbon rod often enough printing ABS. How badly do you think it's going to be printing ABS along with lasering and all the gunk that comes off of that if you don't regularly clean the machine? So, machines are going to get damaged and start to break down a lot sooner with the laser stuff. It is what it is. And also, I'm disappointed. I was hoping for a game changer. There's really... Bambu wanted more consumables to sell. That's one of the things I heard. They make most of their money off of people buying their filament. Just go buy it from POLYMAKER directly. It's the same stuff. Yeah, it makes sense because if you go on their site, what do they got now? 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 Because they have on their site. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? That. Boom, boom, boom. Buy now. Laser. Yeah, there you go. Cutting materials. There you go. 10 pieces of vinyl. Never. By the way, again, I'm just gonna say this. Holy shit! Never cut this shit with a laser. You will release chlorine gas. So yeah. This is why. Because the markup on this is insane. That's why. That's why. The markup is insane. They sell wood. How much do they sell wood for? My brother in Christ. 6 pieces of 3mm wood for $32. That's why they put a laser on it. That's why I put a laser on it. Because, you can't have you going on Amazon and just, buying all of this for like, $10. Can't be doing that. Gotta sell the consumables. They've moved to the console thing. So yeah, the machine is fine in terms of as a 3D printer. I think as a 3D printer, while on the expensive side, there is a market for people who want this machine. It'll probably sell okay. I think trying to make it an all-in-one machine because, copy paste DJI. Come on, it's DJI's. What does DJI make? They make drones, but they also make cameras. And they also make power banks. And they also make a bunch of other stuff because you start with something and then you start taking over the entire segment. Bambu's trying to take on Xtool and Cricut and Prusa. And well, actually they're more trying to take out Creality and Anycubic and all the other Asia market 3D printing companies. But yeah, that's it. They're Bambu's trying to become a manufacturing company where it's like if you're in any sort of hobby-ish level prosumer at home manufacturing thing, you'll buy Bambu is what they want the market to be. It is what it is. It is what it is. Also, them showing off the printer by printing a helmet. I just know an ambulance chasing lawyer is just waiting. And they're like, oh, it's rated. Yeah, in what country? What country? Because there's pretty much every country I'm aware of has different laws when it comes to like health and safety. EU might have one big one, but you're telling me that you have managed to have a 3D printed safe helmet, bike helmet, that is properly rated in every country you sell your printer, and you're willing to stand by that. I know I ain't putting a 3D printed helmet on my head and actually trusting it. Printers to all sorts of YouTubers who do anything but 3D printing. I mean, that's the thing. Everyone who does 3D printing already knows of Bambu. Everyone who does 3D printing already knows of Bambu. Okay? So you send it to the adjacent markets. I know Bambu sent a lot of Bambu machines, P1s and A1s, to FPV YouTubers. I know Zach from Jerry Rig Everything got an H2T. Like, it makes sense. They've already saturated the existing 3D printing market. Now they have to expand to new markets. That's how it works. Yeah, so, well, no, okay, so here's the thing, Rose. Nobody's gonna buy an H2D to replace their Cricut. That's the thing. And to you, yeah, none of the YouTubers that put out a video complaining about the new firmware got it one, I don't think. I'm not a huge fan of machines that try to do everything. If Bambu had come out with the H2D by itself and then said, oh, by the way, we also have a laser that can do vinyl cutting, I'd be like, oh, okay, that's cool. But trying to do it as an all-in-one machine just doesn't make sense to me. Unless you have like extremely limited space, But even then, like, you shouldn't be doing all that on one machine. You're going to foul up your 3D printer because you know somebody's going to cut something with the laser, not clean it, and then start printing stuff. And then you're going to start, you know, stuff's going to wear. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. Station will be large. Yeah, like, again, this is what they recommend you do to clean it after lasering. And how often do you need to do this? Preface. During lasering, smoke is generated. The laser air pump provides high pressure to disperse the smoke and dust generated when cousin. This not only prevents the edges from narrow. So yeah, you gotta run a thing to basically blast all the gunk off out of the way of the laser. Although most smoke will be expelled through the smoke ventilation pipe, some smoke will remain in the printer. Therefore, the level of contamination will be more severe compared to only the 3D printing function. If the interior walls around the casing are not clean for an experimental printing, dirt can easily accumulate, and attachments on the front door and side can obstruct the view. Blah blah blah. To ensure when cleaning the cameras, please note that only a small amount of alcohol and slightly squeezed. Somebody's gonna use a solvent or something, and it's gonna mess up the cameras. I know that. And for our maintenance frequency, HDD. So how often are you supposed to clean it? Possible, constantly over. The printer used in this tutorial is a non-production prototype equipped with a 10-watt laser module that underwent 40 hours of continuous aging testing. So basically running the laser for 40 hours, the 10-watt laser, and then this is it after 40 hours with the 10-watt laser. So you got all this gunk there where the fan is. The rear filter is all gunky. There's your tool head and the rear of it. Oh, they got a fan on the back now. This is just bleh. Got your nozzle cam spying on you. Like, this is just 10 hours with the... And then you got to go through all this shit. I mean, people already don't even wipe down the carbon rods on the X1, let alone do a deep clean after every laser job. Have I seen the Robert? No, Mr. Jada. You got a TLDR? I really think if you want to do laser, buy a dedicated laser. Buy the H2D base version or with the AMS, and then buy a separate laser. That way, if you F up the laser, you don't F up the $2,000 of 3D printer. Like, I'm sorry, this machine should have just been a 3D printer. Everyone I know every company that has tried to make all-in-one machines, it never works for a reason. Even there was a period where like high-end companies were trying to make machines that did laser 3D printing and also machined, and they kind of stopped doing it because you don't eat where you shit. The electronics I'm not too worried about because I'll be honest, they can formal coat the crap out of their electronics. So I'm not too concerned about the electronics. I'll be honest, I'm not too concerned. But yeah, like, and also, who is this machine for? Because if it's too expensive for a print farm machine. If you're running a print farm, if you're printing like helmets or whatever, you're gonna buy SV08s, you're gonna buy Centauri carbons or whatever, the Elegoo Centauri carbons. You're gonna buy cheap machines you can get a lot of. You're not gonna buy a $1,900 base machine just for a print farm. Like, and like, if I need a vinyl cutter, a laser, and a 3D printer, I personally would never buy an all-in-one machine because you have to make sacrifices for each thing. Like, yeah, it is possible to make a machine that can do all of them, but it gets pricey really quick. You know, this machine already is pricey. Also, it's an extra $700 to go from the 10-watt laser to the 40-watt laser. I know 40-watt laser diodes aren't cheap, but I think that's pretty pricey. But yeah, so TLDR, I'm kind of unimpressed. I know some people are like freaking out over this already, just going off some of the comments I've looked at, but I'm like, it's not really doing anything new at all. Like, other than like, they're trying to claim that it can be more accurate because you can, let me find the stupid thing. Where is it? Oh wait. It doesn't even come with high flow hot ends. Do you have to buy, it doesn't even come with high flow hot ends. You have to buy high flow hot ends for an additional, let me put the price back in American. It doesn't even come with high flow hot ends? Wait. Where'd the high flow hot ends go? Are they out of stock? Okay, on the Canadian store, you can get high flow hot ends. High flow hot ends. Okay, yeah, so, oh, they're out of stock. Okay, so yeah, so you also have to buy an additional $50 in hot end. The standard flow is 40 millimeters cubed. Is it? Okay. Okay, so 40 milliliters cubed, and then if you want more flow, it's an additional 50 times 2. Because remember, you could have to use the same nozzle type in both. So if you can't do 2 different nozzle sizes. So if you only buy one nozzle, you can't use the other nozzle at all. So if you buy a 0.6 nozzle, you can only use 0.6 nozzles. So you have to buy 2 of them. You can't have like a 0.4 and a 0.8. You can only use one or the other. You can't use both at the same time because they're software limited currently. So you have to buy 2 of each if you want to use both nozzles in a new size, because it comes with 0.4s. But say if you want like 0.8, you have to buy 2 0.8s if you want to use both nozzles. You can't use a 0.4 and a 0.8. What other access? Oh yeah, and the vision encoder. That's an extra $133 for below 50 UM accuracy. You're splooging molten plastic out of a 0.4 millimeter nozzle. Do you need that much more accurate? Like I've never needed that much accuracy on a 3D printer ever. What this tells me is that your base machine is imprecise. What this is telling me is your base machine is imprecise if I need to buy an upgrade to make it more precise. 50 micrometers. What is that in, what is 50 micrometers in decimal? What is 50 micrometers in decimal? 0.05? Like it, injection molding level quality. As somebody who worked for 7 years in injection molding, sus. You're gonna have more variation in filament diameter than like I know exactly what this does. This scans the bed so that it knows how out it is when it travels, like the cauliflower print. Basically, this is something you could calibrate on a normal machine, but because it's Bambu and you can't calibrate anything except for auto calibrations on it because they lock everything down, you have to rely on them calibrating it. So you can't just do like a cauliflower print like you would do on like any other 3D printer and just adjust values to verify that everything's accurate. You have to buy a $130 add-on instead of just doing a 3D print and doing some measuring and plugging in some numbers. You have to buy a $130 add-on to automatically do it for you. And again, I highly doubt anyone's gonna. Also, you notice how they dropped the LiDAR? If the LiDAR was that important, where's the LiDAR? I don't know. I'm just. Oh, here's the smoke purifier, which you if you need to do lasering, you need to buy one of these. So there's another $800. I don't know, man. I'm just not that impressed. Like the base machine itself, I got really nothing against. Oh yeah, these aren't cheap. These aren't cheap. Also, don't forget, you got to buy replacement filters. You got to buy all kinds of wonderful replacement filters on these, by the way. Yeah, lasering is not a clean thing. If you need this to make sure everything coming out of this machine is okay, imagine what's in the machine still. Like, yeah. The standalone printer itself, as the 3D printing portion of the H2D, other than Bambu shenanigans aside, I'm fine with. I personally would never buy one. If you want to send one to me, I'll give it an honest review, but you don't like criticism. I don't know. I'm sure it will sell like hotcakes for a bit. And hopefully if they do some software updates, it'll be a little bit better. Being able to use 2 separate nozzles. Bambu Studio is based on Prusa Slicer. Prusa Slicer can use 2 different nozzle sizes on the same print. So why can't Bambu Studio? Unless you don't want to use their implementation of how it's done, because then you need to disclose how it's done because it's open source based, and you want to do it a different way so you can keep control of that second nozzle to only users of your slicer. Tinfoil hat. Tinfoil hat. I don't know. I really don't know who this machine is for. Like, the only people that I can see who would be buying this machine is somebody who's like, I have this much room and I need a machine that can do everything. Like, that is like the only group of people I know who would be buying the everything machine. Is I have room for just the printer and I want to do everything. And I only have room for the printer because I live in a bachelor pad. And I can vent it outside, so I don't need to buy the HEPA filter. Like that's like the only people I think that can justify buying the whole shebang. Because you can buy the printer and buy a standalone diode laser that'll be more capable than the H2D diode laser in both volume and the fact that you can use light burn, which is superior software. I guarantee you Bambu's whatever it's called is not as good as light burn. For cheaper. It's cheaper. You can buy a cheap diode laser. You can buy there's a lot of options for diode lasers that are not as expensive and much more capable than the H2D laser. So it's, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'll ask him it at Rapid. I'm like, who is this machine aimed for? Because it's like, I can buy a laser cheaper than your laser add-on, and I can 3D print while lasering because they're 2 separate machines. And I don't have to worry about gumming up my 3D printer with fumes. And then the Cricut, you know what? The vinyl cutter, if you could use the vinyl cutter without having to buy the laser attachment, it'd be nice. Because let's be honest, it's just a blade. It's just a spinning blade and software. If you could put the vinyl cutter on the normal tool head, I'm okay with that. Sell it as like a $50 add-on or whatever. Whoop-de-doo, cool. But the vinyl cutter is only available if you buy the laser add-on. But if you use the laser on vinyl, you create chlorine gas, which will, destroy your lungs and also corrode metal. Now I know what they got angry at Big Tree Tech over the frickin' pad because it was cannibalizing X1 sales. It's like, no, you have to buy the machine the way we want it and use it the way we want it. And if you don't, we don't like it. Ah! I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, it screams executive level, this is what we want. Not like, hey, maybe we should like listen to feedback from users and speak to makers and take this. It's like, no, we are going to dominate these markets and we are going to do it this way because we learned it at DJI. Speaking of, I really like the Pocket Osmo. Really good on this trip. I don't get it. I don't get it. The H2D by itself, if they had just come out with it by itself without the laser crap, and I don't know why it was so delayed. Like, I don't know. I've never used X-Tool. X-Tool diode laser. Okay. Freaking X-Tool's website is shite. No, I don't want to spin for... Okay, learn. Wow, I hate sites like this. You can't open a new tab. So, an X-Tool M... Stop. No, I don't want to log in. This is Canadian pricing. And then it changes all this. Oh my god. Nope. Frick off. Oh my god. Where is... Okay, so these are all engravers. I hate their site. This site sucks. Oh, frick off. No. Gee, bloody hell. Where's the diode? Flagship diode S1. Choose it. S1. So this is $18.99. So that's a 40 watt laser. So that's 40 watts though, I think. Or is that, I hate this site. Yeah, this is 40 watt. This is 40 watt. So this is a 40 watt laser. So if you wanted a 10 watt, it's 900 bucks. And what's the volume on it? Where's the volume? Where's the volume? Give me the volume. I mean, it looks bigger. Where's the freaking spec sheet? Where's the spec sheet? What the? And it comes with $50 of free material. No, I don't want to. Oh, and it has a rotary too. So it has a rotary option. Like, the thing is, like, oh, here you go. So it's 24 inches by 15 inches. So yeah, so it's bigger volume, more capability, the ability to add, you know, rotary tools. Like, and the thing is too, you can hang material out of it. You can't do that on the Bambu. The Bambu, the laser only works with the door closed. So you have to, anything you laser has to fit in the machine. You can't have stuff hang out the top or off the side like you can on most other lasers. So it just, I really don't get what the machine is for. Like, this by itself, I don't get. If you are just doing single nozzle, if you just want 2 nozzle, an XL. It's a bigger volume and it's a tool changer, okay? So an XL, other than being enclosed, a 2-headed XL, I think makes more sense. I know the price difference, there is a price difference, but it's much bigger in print volume. It's actually 360 cubed versus this. So at the 2 nozzle setup, standalone, this is too expensive for its capabilities, in my opinion. Okay, you can get cheaper, bigger printers. Okay, at 2200, this kind of makes sense because you've got 2 nozzles, you got the color changing if you need the color changing. Okay, or filament rollover. At a machine this size, you kind of want filament rollover. This makes sense. The heated chamber, I don't care, because the heated chamber is only there to make up for the fact that the chamber by itself leaks air. It gets 60 to 65 C. That means nothing to me. My Vorons without heated chambers get to that temperature. The heated chamber, the heater is there to pump heat into a system that loses heat because the chamber is not properly insulated. They could get by with properly insulating the machine, but they don't. I mean, it doesn't need the heated chamber. It doesn't get hot enough for the materials that benefit from a heated chamber. It's not hot enough. It's not getting into that 70 to 90 C where like some of the more exotic materials actually get a benefit. It's just hot enough for ABS, which my Vorons get normally without additional heaters. Oh yeah, the rat rig. I mean, you got it. I'm comparing off-the-shelf pre-built machines. I'm comparing off-the-shelf pre-builts. Yes, I know the heated thing is thing, but it having a heater to get it to 60, 65 C, it's a six. I'm judging it as a machine with a 60 to 65 C chamber, not as a heated chamber. I'm just judging it by the chamber temp it gets to. Yeah, Toasty Boy gets into the 70s with just the bed heater and some fans to blow air around. But yeah, this makes a bit more sense. Or this, and then you have an old AMS or something. You have an AMS you picked up used, or you have one from like an X1 or something. Too bad you can't use the AMS Lite, because you know if you bought an A1 and you had the AMS Lite, wouldn't it be nice if you could take that AMS Lite and plug it into this? But you can't, because Bambu made it that way. So yeah, so this, and then if you already have an AMS, or this makes sense. I personally would never purchase them, but I understand there is a market for people who want this machine. I'm okay with that. This, I think, is stupid. This, I think, is stupid. This, I think, is the R word I'm not supposed to say anymore. Like, so it's 2,200 to 2,800. So $600 for a 10-watt laser, and then $1,300 for a 40-watt laser. For $1,300, you can get it. You can get a diode laser by itself. That won't gum up your 3D printer. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get this. This I don't get. This I don't get. This I think is stupid. I think this is a waste of money. Also, you need to really do a lot of lasering to just, okay. You need to do a lot of lasering to justify a $1,300 laser. And if you are doing enough lasering to justify a $1,300 laser, you are not doing $1,300 of lasering inside of a 3D printer that requires a deep clean every under 40 hours to prevent it from killing itself. Does that make sense, what I just said there? Does that make sense, what I just said there? If you can justify spending $1,300 on a laser, that means you are doing $1,300 of lasering, which is way more than you should be doing inside of a 3D printer that will kill itself unless you do a deep clean every time you laser with it. Like, I'm sorry, this, I could see when the H3D comes out that this becomes the LiDAR of the H2D. Because you notice how they dropped the LiDAR? You notice how they dropped the LiDAR? The LiDAR was only ever on the X1 and they never brought it back after it because it doesn't really do anything. You notice how they dropped that? and yeah. Yeah, I really don't get this. Unless they just happen to have a bunch of lasers and it just clips on and it's like the margin, they can just kind of offer it for those that randomly want it. And it's not really a big impact on their, you know, warehouse management guy. Like, I don't know. I don't know. H2D. They need a P2D. They just need this machine with a single nozzle setup, and that's it. If this machine came out with this option, single nozzle, $1,600, and you had the full print volume, not the neutered one because the nozzles can't reach the other side of the bed because they're two nozzles, I'm sure that would probably be the best selling one if they came out with a P2D. Or it would just be a P2, because I'm assuming H, I don't know what H means. D probably means dual nozzle, and 2 because it's their second generation of enclosed Core XY. Because you had the X1 and the P1. So what's the H mean? Because X2D would make sense because this is the premium version of their Core XY. It's the second generation and it's a dual nozzle. So what's the H mean? What does the H mean? I mean, what does the X or the P mean? Don't mean anything. But yeah, heated. I mean, the X1E has a heater. Just make the gantry wider. Well, then you make the whole machine wider. And then there's certain sizes and weights you need to stay under for shipping. Like if the machine was bigger, they might not be able to fit as many in a C can and shipping would cost more. There's a whole math to the size of things once you start having to deal with international, like shipping. So hello, I can charge your credit card 2D. Hybrid? Maybe hybrid. That would make sense, hybrid. But yeah, I really don't know. I'm kind of disappointed. Looking at the print quality on the review videos, the print quality looked good, but nothing I was like blown away with. Like I was like, okay, it prints good. Most modern printers print good. There's nobody that I know has the machine that has like, other than some trusted testers, nobody has had this machine for a decent amount of time. So long-term reliability, nobody knows. I don't know. I don't know who this machine is for. This is pricey for what it is, which is a dual nozzle machine that you can only use the dual nozzle with Bambu Studio. And if you use Linux, you're SOL. So if you like Orca Slicer, it's a single nozzle machine for $1,900, which again, you could buy 3 or 4, depending on you could buy 3 SV08s for the price of this, or I think 2 K2s by themselves, roughly, for the price of this. And those are bigger machines. They are less reliable though, let's be honest. This makes a bit more sense. Okay, this I can kind of get behind. Okay, I still think it's pricey, but again, people buy apples. This makes more sense if you already have an AMS lying around, because I believe the AMS is forward compatible. Please tell me the AMS is forward compatible. The stock, like the X1 and the P1 AMS is forward compatible with this thing, right? Please tell me it is forward compatible. If it is not, that is just, please tell me it's forward compatible. Okay, good. Okay, good. I see yes. Okay, good. So this makes sense if you already have an AMS. Otherwise, by itself, I don't think it makes sense because you can buy bigger machines for cheaper if all you care about is print volume. This makes a bit of sense if you're new to this ecosystem, or you own an A1 and you can't bring forward your AMS Lite because Bambu won't allow you. This, I think, is a fool's errand and is going to cause hardware failures. And again, the fact that you can only use the vinyl cutter with the laser attachment, but if you use the laser attachment on vinyl, you create chlorine gas. Also, never cut PVC, because that also creates chlorine gas. There's a lot of stuff you shouldn't laser, because it'll either damage your lungs or damage your machine. I really don't get what they're trying to do here. Like, I get what they're trying to do here, but I don't get what they're trying to do here. I don't get it. I mean, the A1 is their best-selling machine because it's cheap as chips, okay? They sell thousands of those a day, okay? It's cheap as shit, okay? People build entire print farms out of them, okay? They're cheap machines. They're cheap consumable machines. This is trying to be a premium prosumer thing, and I don't really get it. I just don't really get it. Also, I ran way long today. Holy shit, what time is it? I've been streaming for 4.5 hours. Shit, we're ending the stream. We are ending the stream. Holy shit. Oh my God, I'm losing my voice. Yeah. Remember, kiddies, do this after every time you use your laser and you want to doing 3D printing. Because if you don't, your machine will fail and Bambu will deny a claim. I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna ask you. I'm going to ask you thoughts on the H2D. That is fine. You know what? We'll keep it simple. Keep it simple. Thoughts on the H2D, good or bad? What do you think? Now, I know my audience is going to be biased as all hell. And okay, stop answering. Okay, stop answering. I'm going to delete the poll. Okay, one second. I'm going to start over. Let me rephrase this. H2T, the variant you would most likely get if you had to get one. Good. Bad. Okay, so basically you need to decide out of all the variants of the Bambu H2D, the standalone version, the AMS version, or the laser version, whatever one. If somebody were to say, okay, you have to buy one, obviously, like money, whatever, just ignore the money aspect. If you had to buy one, whatever one you would buy, do you think it's good or bad? Okay. Because obviously some people will be like, oh yeah, the base model's fine, but the laser one's stupid. So if you're interested in the base one and you think the base one's fine, answer good. Okay, I want you to be honest. I'm trying to get as much of a feedback as possible on as simple of a question, okay? So while it's doing that, I'm gonna get the giveaway set up. I'm gonna give you like 3 minutes to enter. So you got 3 minutes to enter for your chance to win some POLYMAKER filament. We're gonna do the draw at the end of the stream, which is gonna be right after we do that. Okay, this is looking better. Okay, so we're getting a more even split because everyone's like, oh, bad. I'm like, okay, but yeah, but not everyone. Like, I'll be honest. I know some people that will like the base model of it. I know some people that will like the base model because they do like cosplay stuff and they need a reliable machine. They don't want to faff about with like an SV08 or a K2 that's going to have software issues or like weird hardware quirks, right? I know people that just make plastic boat that will get good use out of the H2D as a 3D printer. I just really think the laser attachment is just a fool's errand, a folly. I think it's a folly and it's gonna burn people. Literally and figuratively. I'm not a fan of detachable lasers either. If you could take a laser and move it, if a laser can be plugged in and aim in any other direction but down, no. Cheers, Liz. Oh, 149. Thank you. Yeah, it was my birthday on Saturday. It was a good birthday, but oh my God, the day after sucked. That was a lot of travel. Poll messed up. What do you mean the poll's messed up? How was it messed up? Poll is weird. Okay. What do you mean it's weird? Oh, only like... Okay, let me... Okay. Why did it... Oh, did the poll mess up? Okay, whatever. Yeah, it's good or bad. Start a poll. Or... No, you don't pick a variant. Okay. It's not pick a variant. Okay. Whatever version of the H2D that appeals to... Okay. We'll just ignore the laser. H2D laser. Good, bad. There, we'll do the laser. We'll do the laser, and then I'll ask you about the standalone version. Okay? So the H2D laser, is it good or is it bad? Everyone answer. If you answer, it will totally improve your chances of winning the draw we're about to do. It'll totally improve your chances about winning the draw we're about to do. Totally, for real. No capping. And by improving the chances, everyone's doubles, right? What I'm going to do to improve these chances, everyone who entered now has double the chance of winning. Okay. So instead of 1 in 100, or actually, I think it's, what do we got here? I don't even know. We'll find out in a second. Okay. Let's open up marbles. Man of the Croc, 149. Cheers and appreciated. Oh, stupid thing is loading. You know what, Steve, just for you, everyone now gets 100 times the chance to win. Everyone, equally. $500 entries. Drop my phone. Yeah. Who's this one? Oh, that's funny. Okay, you got me. You got me. I got that email. Okay. Okay. So race. We'll go with Boogie Boogie. But first we gotta add everyone. Add names. Clear, open. What are my names? Names. Make sure I got the right chart. Yep, we're good there. Okay. So 333 enters. So everyone now, instead of having a 1 in 333 chance of winning, I'm gonna up it. Okay. Everyone now has a 333 chance in 333 and 333,000 chance of winning. Fair? Fair. Okay. Okay, so H2D laser. So we got a 5%. Okay. All right, right there, 169 entries. That is a nice place to end it. Okay, so we'll end it there. Okay. Start a poll. H2D 3D printer. Good. Bad. Same question. This is applying to the printer. Okay. It could be the single nozzle, or the correction, the with the AMS, without the AMS, whatever. As a 3D printer, do you think it's good or bad? Personally, I think it's good. As a 3D printer, pricey, Mac tax. If you're okay paying the Mac tax, as a 3D printer, I think it's good. That's my personal opinion. I personally wouldn't buy one, but as a 3D printer, I think it's fine. But that's not what we're here for. We are here to give away some filament. Good, but I want it. Yeah, maker mindset. I'm not asking you to buy it. I'm just asking you if you think it's a good printer. Okay, so how this works, if you win, you get a spool of filament from POLYMAKER, plain and simple. But if I pick your ball and you win, you also get a free hat right here. This one right, nope, actually, nope. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna go this one right here. FDL3, FDL3. If you win, you get a free hat along with your spool of filament from POLYMAKER. Off you go. Let that follow the leader. Well, there goes that leader. Who's in charge now? Mad Cat USA. You know what? I bought your gaming controller back in the PS2 days, Mad Cat, and I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed. Okay, I'm actually a little disappointed you're no longer in the lead. Chuck's in the lead. Remember, exclamation mark zoom zoom makes your ball go faster. Exclamation mark gullible makes everyone else go slower. And if you like the smash button, ring the bell, and are subscribed to the channel, it greases your ball up and makes it go even faster. And if you're waiting and got nothing else to do, make sure you check out the links in the video description. Affiliate links don't cost you anything extra, go a long way in supporting the channel. You can buy yourself some cool drinks like Gamer Sup, save 10% on your order with Canuck, code Canuck. And while you're down there, don't forget to like the smash button, ring the bell if you want to help support the channel I create, content I do. Consider becoming a channel member, Patreon supporter, or gifting memberships to others. That's the best way to do it because everyone gets to be a member then. And Eric is our winner. Eric Gibson. That was a short one. Has won the grand contest and will get a spool of filament from me after the stream ends. So cheers. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Okay. So Eric Gibson, let me find you here. Yes. Fine. Eric Gibson. I have found you. There you go. So Eric, you'll get an email from me after the stream ends with information to collect your filament. So yeah, so it looks like H2D as a 3D printer, most people think is good. And you know what? I'm not going to disagree. I have some qualms. I have some qualms about the laser. Obviously, I have qualms about the laser. I don't like the laser. But the 3D printer itself, same way people like Macs. While I personally do not agree with Bambu's business practices, I got nothing against the printer itself. And I posted the polls in the Discord. Okay, we're calling it there. I'm exhausted. I'm gonna go make din din for the family. Hope you enjoyed the stream. I'm back. Friday we'll probably continue with the, I know we got the box turtle build underway, but we'll probably touch on the Pro Forge. So we'll do the Pro Forge on Friday. And yeah, video this weekend as well. So for those that donate to the channel, or correction, cheers to Polymaker for the spool of filament we gave away this stream and every stream. Links for all of them in the video description below. Cheers to Big Tree Tech, BQ, for providing content for the Yap this stream about the trip. And for those that donate to the channel, gifted memberships to others, or became members of the channel yourself, I thank you. And not be able to do the things I do, create the content I create without your continued support. You make it all possible. I'm gonna go make lunch now. I'm starving, and then I'm gonna go to sleep. Good night. Wash your hands.